Look, all I'm saying is Joey's dad
is a secret agent.
might be the basis of John Wick. That's
John Wick.
All I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
We'll discuss it more later.
I was thinking Jason Bourne, but yeah, John Wick. That makes sense.
We'll discuss it more later, but I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
Welcome to Screencast, Kinda Funny's only entertainment-based podcast where we come together and talk about movies, TV shows, and streaming services.
Where the hell's Barnegat, New Jersey? That's not a real place, is it?
I don't think so.
Barnegat? That's probably how you say that.
This
I'm
show
so
is
tired of these fucking robocalls.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
They're filling up my goddamn. They're filling
Just
up.
block them.
Why is your phone out?
They're filling.
I don't think there's ever been a reason for you to actually answer the phone on a show.
I like to. There has been.
Did you just say I like to party?
Yeah.
This show is recorded live every Friday around 11. You can watch that at twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you don't have time for all that, that's totally cool. You can watch it as a VOD on youtube.com/kindafunny or roosterteeth.com. If you hate looking at us and only want to listen to us, you can go to SoundCloud or actually any of your audio podcast services and find us there.
People are saying I do like to party in the chat, and you're fucking right. I like to party.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, this is sticky.
Is are you drinking Diet Coke or is that?
This is the Coke Zero or Coke Z as Andy likes to say.
That's right,
Coke Z. And I like it a lot. And sometimes I just drink because I had a couple Diet Cokes left, but I left them in there hidden.
Super not interested.
I hidden.
Super not
So when
interested.
Andy comes in, you'll like this part though.
Okay.
He's gonna come in. He's gonna look. I left him a little bit of a swallow of Coke
monster.
Zero. Just
I
to be a
think it's
dick.
meaner than drinking the whole thing.
Totally.
Why would you do that?
Because if you're not here,
Nick.
if you're not here putting the fucking work in, you're the enemy. Do you understand?
Was he not coming in today?
I don't know. He's probably working from home.
If for some reason you want to help support us, you can go to patreon.com/kindafunny and support there. At the bronze tier, you can answer some of our titillating questions. And yeah, I'm your host, Kevin Coelho. To my immediate right is one Nick Scarpino, the man with the 3-fingered review. Nicholas, you watch anything good?
No, but I'm seeing
week?
John Wick and Aladdin this weekend. So next week we'll have lots of fun things to talk about.
Great.
This week I've literally, we were going to watch, the missus and I were going to watch a romantic movie. Is that what it's called? The one with
yeah.
But you all were like, wasn't that good?
The one
Joey
with
was like,
Rebel
it's trash.
Wilson?
Yeah.
Isn't it romantic?
Isn't it romantic? That's what it was.
Yeah.
But you were like, it's not that good. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay for it.
Yeah,
So
no,
maybe
I
I'll
think
wait
it's
until
a
that comes on
streamer for
the
me,
Netflix.
for sure.
Then of course just whittling my way through Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I'll tell you what, starting to touch on some serious themes in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, okay. Like Alyssa told me that they were like at a certain point they kind of switch over and start having some social commentary, and I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, it's good. It's cool that they did it, but I'm like, wow, this is because you expect with a show like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's just going to be silly, kind of just a way to kind of pass some time. But they get a little hard in that show, which is good.
Interesting.
But they find a way to pull it off of still not shifting the tone of the show, but still being able to talk about.
Yeah, they keep it wrapped in humor. We'll put it that way. What have you been watching?
Well, let's start with...
You want to introduce Joey?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Joey.
No. And
Joey.
To your right, my left, Joey, one of the movie bros.
Yeah,
herself,
movie bros.
Noelle. Joey, you watch anything good this week?
Love that shirt.
I watched so many things
It's a
this
dope
week. You and I went for the unprecedented triple threat last night.
Oh, right.
Saw
You guys saw three movies.
yesterday.
What'd you guys see?
So first we started off with my second viewing, Kevin's first viewing of John Wick Parabellum.
Was Keanu Reeves better the second time?
I mean, he's pretty much the same the first and the second
In fact,
time.
a lot of people say exactly the same.
Exact same movie?
But I was really happy to be able to see it again. I still loved it. Then we went and saw Booksmart.
Oh, how was
which is
that?
the Olivia
really want to see
Wilde
that.
debut, directorial debut.
Yeah, it's her directorial debut. It's Beanie Feldstein and I forget the other actress's
I don't
name,
know
but
the
they're
other girl
great.
is, too.
She's awesome. She was in the season 2 or 3 of Justified. She's fucking great.
Yeah, I liked it way more than I thought I was going to.
It looks like it's going to be like a fun kind of poignant indie. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So
Feels like a comedy A24 movie.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
but in a really good way.
Well, remember we were going back and forth, I think about 4 weeks ago on this show about that versus the new Seth Rogen movie that's coming out. That's basically like younger boys,
Yes.
but it's a bunch
Yeah.
of
Good
dick
boys.
jokes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that doesn't speak to me, but for some reason Booksmart does, because I think it's a little bit more clever and kind of it feels a little bit more modern. You know,
Yeah.
because they touch on some different themes of her being lesbian and things like that. And so like I just feel like juxtaposed with a bunch of boys talking about their dicks, I'm like I kind of gravitate more toward the thing that looks that seemingly
Well,
it
you're
has a little bit
growing
more
up.
depth. Yeah, I have the maturity of an 18-year-old now. So that's good.
It's progress.
But what worth seeing? Is it worth seeing in the theaters?
100%.
Yeah, for like our quick review, like, man, I went in there thinking, oh, this is gonna be a fun movie, and I walked out being like, wow, this is one of the best comedies I've seen in a really long time.
The part where they dance in the trailer made me giggle for an entire day, to the point where I kept playing it for Tim and making him come watch, and he was like, it's not.
I was
I
hoping
don't
they were
need to
gonna
see
do
this
that
again.
again because it was so good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Petey Popoff in the chat was like, Nick doesn't, or Parker Petrov. What the fuck, Petey Popoff?
It's not even close.
I think he got a stab. Parker Petrov in the chat says, Nick not liking the dick jokes. No, I still love dick jokes.
Yeah.
I still love dick jokes. I want it to be, is there a 1? Can I get a 1? Is there a 1? Can I get a 1? Can I get a 1?
You couldn't answer him. Give him the 2 shot for God's sakes.
I mean,
Just give it to him.
I still like dick
Wait,
jokes.
it's a great one.
I just
Joey,
don't want to do it.
my
That's
angle
all.
out.
Okay, well,
What is he,
whatever.
sore over there? He's been
I
sleeping
don't
too much?
know.
What's
I
happening with
don't
him?
know.
But
yeah,
I think it's worth watching. It does some stuff that I was not expecting.
Yeah, so it does, and this is funny because
Oh, there is a Petey Popoff. I didn't know that. Sorry, Petey. I got you confused with Parker Petrov. You can see where the
God,
confusion
his focus
lies.
is so
Yes.
difficult to just hold.
I apologize. Continue.
I was just gonna say it. Like I think multiple times it subverts my expectation of what's gonna happen in like a phenomenal way. Like the entire movie, you kind of like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if this happens, and they do something like they do things that are similar to what I thought was gonna happen, but totally twisted in a like really fun,
Okay.
and awesome way.
I'm gonna see it
yeah.
when Dee comes back next weekend. I'm gonna see it with her. I already have
Yeah.
a date with it.
Yeah.
I like the line in the trailer where she's like getting arrested by the cops. She's like, shotgun. Just kidding. I don't have one. Oh, that was good. That was
It's-
real good.
yeah.
It's
She needs to be in more stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
look up
she
her
was
name,
great.
Give her a shout out.
We were talking about like the difference in characters, and she was
so
one of my
good,
favorites.
but like. She was written to be amazing. And
Yeah,
like, then
100%.
the actress though did 100%.
How was
nail
the
it.
direction? How did Olivia Wilde do with the direction?
I thought it
It
was
sounds
great.
like it came together very well.
It came
Yeah.
together so well.
Awesome sauce. Her name is Caitlin Dever.
Okay,
Beanie
Devers.
Feldstein.
There-
Beanie Feldstein, by the way,
honestly-
is fucking hilarious. I forget what else she was in. She was fucking
in-
hilarious.
Ladybird.
Oh,
Yes, that's
yeah,
right. She was the friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fucking
Yeah.
great. In that.
Like yeah, all the acting just throughout. Like they have these like stereotypical characters, but they're all like they feel more real.
Yeah.
and better constructed.
How was
so-
Jason Sudeikis as the principal?
He's funny.
So good.
I like that part of this trailer was like, I can't
No.
hear you anymore. She's like, it's class. Wait, he's
Yeah.
like, it's time for
Sound
class. Sorry, okay.
He was I just
Damn
really
it, let's
like
see this
him.
movie
Did they
this
cut
weekend.
that scene out of the?
No, it was in there at
it
the
was in there,
beginning,
okay. Yeah, but like he comes back like it's very good. You should watch it. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
If you're not going to see any of the other movies coming out this weekend,
Or
go
if you have
see this one.
A-list and you want to see them all in one day, you can do
It's-
that too.
It worked out shockingly well.
Honestly, not as crazy as I thought it was going
Right?
to be. I thought I was going to be like super over being at the movies, but
I think that's partially because
we timed it well.
we timed it well, and those movies were really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Like throughout all 3 of the movies, I'd say were good. Meh. 2 of the movies were great. Brightburn was good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last one that we saw yesterday was Brightburn with Roy from The Office.
Yeah,
and
which
the girl from
I
Pitch
can't.
Perfect, 'cause I don't remember names.
I don't like Roy from The Office. Anytime
Really?
yeah.
So you went John Wick. So you went action film, pretty intense action film, fun little indie,
ended
and then
at
horror movie.
At
Yeah.
9:45, the horror movie.
Okay.
Which
Was I a little bit stressed out when I
Yeah.
got home? Did I maybe drive home, see that there was a guy riding around on his bike by my house, and I got freaked out, came here, dropped my car back off, and then Ubered home? Yes.
Smart.
Took me like an hour
Way
and a
to do
half
it.
to get home.
That's
from the
smart.
movies.
Smart.
But yes, it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it I did not expect the level of gore that they have in that movie.
Okay.
It's way more horror than like superhero film, which is what I was expecting.
Well, yeah, no, it looks pretty horrific. And that kid
the
like tears
Red
people
Band
apart.
trailer was
Yeah.
like the tamest part of the movie, I would argue.
Yeah.
So is it worth seeing?
I think this is one that I would wait for,
just wait for.
Netflix or streaming services. If you have A-list and nothing else to watch, go for it.
Yeah.
But like I didn't walk out of the theater being like, Actually,
I liked it. I think it's worth going to see.
I didn't hate it. I just thought that like it was the plot is so thin.
Yeah.
It's so thin.
Like it's essentially
It's
just.
just
But I mean, it's a
premise.
horror movie,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
horror movie plots are pretty much just an excuse to get people from point A to point B and kill each other.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting this to be like the best thing ever,
Yeah.
but if did it hold your attention for 2 hours?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
interesting.
It, like the kid is a great actor, and there were so many shots of him just being such a little creepy.
I forget.
Yeah.
Did Elizabeth
Elizabeth Banks, yes.
direct this?
I don't know.
No.
No,
I think
don't
it
know that.
was
Who's the person
The-
Brightburn?
Two of the Guns. I think maybe did.
Oh, well,
Yes.
I know James Gunn.
He produced it.
There was
Brian,
guns all over
Brian
it.
Gunn and Mark Gunn wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are
that's
I
they
didn't know.
related
I don't know
to-
who Brian or Mark Gunn are.
Yeah.
And then who directed
James Gunn produced
David
it.
Yarvesky directed it, who also directed
Take your time.
He worked on
The
Guardians.
Hive.
Never heard
Never
of it.
saw that.
They must all be related if he also worked on Guardians.
Yeah. Oh, I'm assuming so. Maybe he's a brother-in-law. Either way.
I wonder if you would have liked it better if we hadn't also seen John Wick and Booksmart.
I think if we had started with Brightburn, it would have like been a little bit higher, or like in
Yeah,
you know.
because at that point we just had
Yeah.
really high. We had such a good run of movies.
Yeah.
So
it
what-
did still get a thumbs up though,
Yeah.
and it is a decent A-list movie. Great, I think, for Netflix, where you're just at home.
Streaming
Sure.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll pop it on probably
Yeah.
when it comes to streaming services. Do we talk about so out of the three? If I can only see one movie this weekend, which one should I see?
You should see John Wick.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, let's talk about John Wick.
John Wick, phenomenal.
Tell Daddy about John Wick.
John Wick.
Let Daddy get a little cup
As
of coffee
far-
and a little
and
a
this
little
sucks, 'cause I don't-
quilted blanket, and let me just tuck in, and I want you to tell Daddy
Okay.
all about John Wick.
I don't want to overhype it
Yeah.
for you. I don't want to do that.
Honestly, I've seen John Wick movies. Okay. I keep trying to explain to people who haven't seen John Wick that I'm like, it's not that you need to temper your expectations.
Yeah.
It's just that these movies are pure action films
Yes.
with a little bit of sprinkling of like world building in them to the point where you're like, okay, but for the most part, it's hard to explain to someone that I'm like, their goal was to perfect action, like to perfect fight choreography and gun choreography, and they did it in the first one, and they just evolved it in the second one.
And they took it even further
Oh, I
in the
can't
third
wait.
one.
I can't
It's- There are such awesome
I
scenes.
can't fucking wait. We're seeing it this weekend.
Yeah, it is spectacular.
Joe,
But
you want to go for a three-peat?
I would totally go see.
see
This
it
is
with
my
us.
favorite John Wick.
I think
movie.
this is my favorite John Wick as well. And
What a great thing that Keanu Reeves has been able to do for himself.
Right?
Yeah.
Where he's just like, I'm going to do these cool acts. Because he went
He's
away.
looking old though. I
He's
feel
awesome,
like that hair does not suit him well.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love his look. I love that he wears like the suits and has the beard, and he's very
Yeah.
stoic looking. And I mean, on a level of
I hate that
of
middle
just
part.
nerdness though. Like I love seeing all of, because he trains with a group named the Machados down in LA. They're like basically Brazilian jiu-jitsu royalty, and I love seeing him in a gi with a white belt on, just training with those guys.
We see
I
some
think that's
jiu-jitsu
so
in the
fucking
movie,
cool.
and it's
Yeah.
really cool.
And I think it's them. I think
Yeah.
that helps like choreograph it because it's fucking rad.
Yeah, I respect that he went to like such thorough lengths to train with like actual people in jiu-jitsu. He did the same thing with all of the like
gun
competitive
stuff.
shooting
Yeah,
and stuff
it's
like
really
that.
cool. And it shows because
Yeah.
I think part of the fun of this, and it's the same with like when we talk about movies like Mission Impossible, where it's like it really does matter that it's the actor doing the choreography. It
100%.
really matters. Like when you see Tom Cruise hanging off a plane, you're in the scene and doesn't
Yeah.
take you out. And subconsciously, I think that when they cut to the wide and you see a dude that's kind of looks like Keanu Reeves, but it's not Keanu Reeves doing it, you're like, your brain kind of knows it and it takes
Yeah.
you out of it. Whereas they're able to just sit in the scene
Yep.
with him and it's one shot. Like that's the cool thing about watching. Like I'm excited to see is how many, like, yeah, it's an action movie. There's gonna be cuts all over the fucking place. But a lot of the times they do the thing where he's shooting, fight, beats the shit out of someone, gets hit, jumps over, falls, whatever, and it's all one shot. And you're like, oh, this is just
really
kind of
cool,
almost a ballet of violence.
Yes.
And I love
Yeah.
that. It's cool. I'm
excited for
so
you to see
jacked
it.
about this.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be less excited to see Aladdin on Monday. I'll tell you that right now. I am not excited about this movie at all.
Neither am I, and it's kind of depressing. I'm seeing it on
not either.
Saturday. But yeah, so this weekend I watched John Wick 1, or this week I watched John Wick 1, 2, and then 3. And I think 3 is my favorite.
What a weird thing though, right?
Yeah.
Because they're all good.
But it
Yeah.
reminds me of Fast and Furious, where you're like, oh, they figured out a little bit of a formula, and it's a little bit of a niche market, and we're gonna play to that, and this is gonna be the thing we do, and we're just gonna iterate and evolve. And it's like we're in a weird world where when I grew up, if you got to a third movie release, it was dog shit.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
the second one, you were like, okay, that was a little weird. And the third one, you're like, this is just a senseless money grab.
I don't know, man. Back to the Future 3 is pretty good.
It's not bad. People talk shit about Back to the Future 3.
I know.
It's not a bad movie.
I like it.
It should have been a part of the second movie.
It's just the worst one of the three.
It's not the best.
Yeah.
But it's also that's like saying, you know, I mean that's not saying much. I mean the movie's still good. But we're in this weird world where people are going like, hey, I'm a fan of this thing. I want to see how it evolves. And then you go out there to support it. And then you get a third one that's actually better. And spoilers, if there's a fourth one, I don't know how this ends. Don't spoil it for me. But if they end up, oh no, actually I think they've already announced they're doing a fourth one.
Yeah, it's a new story.
Yeah,
later.
so they're just going to continue to build this big ass world, and then we're eventually going to get spin-offs like Hobbs and Shaw of John Wick, where it's like Halle Berry and Ruby Rose or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and they've already announced that they're doing that. I think it's a Star series about the Continental.
Continental,
Hotel.
yeah, that's right. Which is fucking cool.
I don't like that on
Lance
Stars
Reddick?
though.
Dude, Stars makes good shit though.
Does it?
Yes.
See, I don't know because no one except for you watches it.
I know, I'm an old man, but Ash vs. Evil Dead was Stars, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
and it's a great show.
Yeah.
Great.
And then also the Girlfriend
legit
Experience,
great.
right?
Girlfriend Experience, fucking season 1, phenomenal. Didn't watch season 2 because at that point I had... I
heard it wasn't great.
They just recast it. It wasn't Riley Keough anymore.
Oh,
It was
okay.
someone else. It's totally different stories.
Miller likes that show as well, maybe?
That's because it's sexy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so hot.
Yeah, but like the one thing is John Wick 3.
People are saying American Gods was on Stars as well. It's supposed to be really good too.
Oh, interesting. No Ian McShane in the Continental series, which is unfortunate.
What
'cause
about
he's
Lance
so good.
Reddick? Is he in it? Because he's a fucking bad motherfucker.
It doesn't. I don't.
He's in Bosch right
don't
now,
know.
and he's awesome.
I was
know
going to
that
say,
says.
like, the one issue with John Wick 3 is the story also very thin.
No, they're always
Very simple, like, this is my goal. I'm trying to do this.
But
And
But I don't know
yeah.
that you could do a really complicated story and all those big action set
You
pieces.
definitely
And that's why-
could.
But like,
could.
that's not why people are going.
Yeah, like that. This movie is not about like, oh, I want to make sure it's like a really cool, compelling story because they have your attention so firmly with this action that it's just so well choreographed and well shot. It's real good.
I'm
Really
looking
enjoy
forward
it.
to it.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep talking people's ears off about it because I could talk about Keanu Reeves until
I'm
fucking
excited
blue in
We
the
did
to
face.
Speed and review where we just watched Speed and talk about it.
Well, no, because he was only in one, and the second one they got.
Well, that's all I want to watch and talk about. Though.
Oh, I mean, we can talk about Speed for the next half hour for all I care. I love Speed.
So good.
I love Speed.
Did you not watch Speed or?
He clearly did not. If he has a negative
he's
opinion
too
on it,
young.
he's clearly
too
never
young.
seen
He doesn't
Speed.
know.
Shoot the
Sandra
hostage.
Bullock, so good.
Shoot
So
the
good.
hostage.
Sure.
Shoot the glass.
Okay.
Die Hard.
I was like, that's not even the right movie.
Die Hard.
And then just quickly a couple other things that I watched this week. I finished Dead to Me. Who's in it?
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix show with
That's the two women,
yeah.
It's Linda
Applegate.
Cardinelli.
Christina Applegate and
Applegate.
Linda Cardellini.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
and I liked it.
Dee liked it. Yeah, Dee watched it all. She was
all
like,
the
it
way
was cool.
through. It was like, yeah, it's cool.
And I saw the last
saw the
20
last-
minutes of the last episode. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see where this is going.
I also
it.
watched The Purge.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I have never seen a single Purge movie.
I love the Purge
but the
movies.
concept is fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think we could honestly benefit in this country from having a No? Okay. We'll dial that
You
back.
would die so
we'll dial
quick,
that
we would
God,
all
I'd die.
murder you.
No, we wouldn't. I'd go to
We'd be
your
like,
You
house.
oh,
would
we're
murder
gonna-
him?
We-
You don't
yeah.
think we would get murdered by other people?
No, we'd all go to
No,
Kevin's house.
I think we would all go
No,
after
fuck you
each
guys.
other first.
No,
and
no,
then-
no. We would be
No.
like, hey,
We would
this
have
is
to-
weird.
we would
form a
band
group.
together,
We would
yeah.
form a cool gang. We'd all go to Kevin's house. We'd fortify ourselves in, and the first layer of defense, all those cats that are running around your house, all the
There's
wild
so
cats, and that
It's
and people would
raccoon
see
season
the
again now.
Like, imagine if you were
That's
going to
insane.
kill someone, and you're like, they're in that house, and you look, and there's just a roving gang of cats that just like they're not big, but they stop and look at you. You're gonna think twice, my friend, about
Yeah.
going into that house.
Sure.
What other horrors do they have planned for us that day?
And then we unleash Thomas.
Oh my God, Thomas the Psycho.
He's so
He's
crazy.
fucking crazy. That guy.
What did you think?
I liked it. I didn't love it. Now I've heard
yeah.
that the
Which
second one is better.
Is this the one with Ethan Hawke? And,
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the actual
And
first
Lena
Purge.
Headley.
Lena Headley. Sure.
Headley. That's her
From
last
Game
name?
of Thrones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's great in it.
And
She's a good
300.
actress.
She's a good actress.
Yeah.
I loved her ever since I saw her in 300. I was like, God damn.
Ethan Hawke. That. Oh no, what's his name? Ethan
Hawke?
Yeah, Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke. He's fine. I've never been a huge fan of him.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Ethan
I
Hawke.
like him.
Yeah.
think
I saw him
he's
in. He did two movies that I think kind of I don't want to say fell under the radar because I think Gothica was a Gattaca. No,
Gattaca.
Gattaca.
Not
so
Gothica.
good.
Gothica is the one with Robert Downey Jr. and Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Gattaca
was not
is a
good, right?
great movie.
Yeah.
So
Is Gattaca
fucking
the one
good.
with?
It's the one where he takes over it's science fiction
Yeah.
he takes over his brother's identity because he has a genetic problem that
That's
like
right, with-
people
And
keep
he-
holding him back.
Yeah, he has like a heart issue, right?
Yeah, and it's basically a society where if they judge you
Genome
based on your
Is
genes.
it
manipulation.
Uma Thurman in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so she falls in love with him based on the fact that she thinks he's his brother who has
Yeah,
died.
yeah.
And
We
it's
watched this in,
really, it's
like,
actually a
chemistry
really
class.
deep, like fucked
Yeah.
up.
Same.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah,
really
I
good
think
movie.
we did too.
Maybe by one of
concept.
some science
Yeah.
class we watched.
Really
it
cool
in.
concept.
Really cool concept.
And I love the theme of like like genes versus like nature versus nurture. Of like, can
Totally.
you overcome what you were born as to become something better? It's cool.
And he wasn't, not to spoil the movie, but he wasn't taking over his brother.
what
He like got separated, met some dude who was Jude Law, I believe, who
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
Oh yeah,
just hated his life or something.
And he took
Oh,
over
that's what it
Jude
was.
Law's
Yeah.
and he took
persona.
Jude Law's life.
And
Yes.
then the
So I
brother
thought
was
the brother was
yeah.
the brother was
Well,
like
let's-
the cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like you're
Yeah.
fucking doing something
If
crazy.
you haven't watched Gattaca, watch Gattaca.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, was that a spoiler?
Gattaca is amazing.
It's a good movie. He also did a movie that I really, really liked that really flew under the radar about vampires. About vampires that like I forget what it's called, but it was like Daywalkers or something like that. That I was like, oh, that's a cool vampire film.
Daywalkers.
He played a vampire
That
that was
sounds
trying
familiar.
to. He was trying to like find a cure to it, but then there was other vampires that didn't want him. I'm remembering this horribly, but I remember just really digging that movie. It was like a detective kind of noir vampire movie.
I like you trying to win me back on Ethan Hawke.
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
Gattaca was great. And I
Daybreakers.
forgot.
Daybreakers, which I thought was actually a pretty cool movie.
But counterpoint, he was
yes.
also in Boyhood. Very
Boy,
bad.
I mean, he's also in all the Midnight trilogy.
was that
Which
a bad
I've
movie?
never
is what you're
watched.
saying?
They're great.
Boyhood is
It's
very, very
everyone
boring.
tells me that. I should
They
really
are.
give it.
If you haven't seen Before Sunset, before sunrise, before sunset, and
Before midnight.
before midnight, they're great. They are. It's one of the coolest things you could possibly watch because they're exercises in like early Linkletter like improv, but not improv because they're all like highly. It's great. They're great
Those movies, what a crazy, interesting premise.
Yeah.
Having the same actors over a span of 30 years
Yeah,
or something
come back
crazy.
every, like, 10
come
years
back
to
every
do one,
10
yeah.
years
That's cool.
to do the sequels.
It's so cool.
Really cool.
And they're really touching, and
Yeah.
it's about like if you've ever traveled or if you've ever like been displaced or in another country and you meet someone, it's just about that one day that you connect to that person and then you move on.
Man, he looks.
It's really great.
Ethan Hawke looks way better with longer hair.
I don't disagree. Also, have we
Shapes
not
his-
talked about Training Day if we're talking about Ethan?
Yeah.
All right, quickly to finish
All
off
right.
my list, then I watched Don't Breathe, and
Another one that I was really surprised by.
yeah, it was a movie where it's like, man, it gets really fucked
Dude,
up.
Fede Alvarez knows how to fucking direct.
Yeah.
That movie, I went and saw that on a whim, and you know me, I don't really like watching like thrillers or horror. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this is a great movie.
Yep.
But like legit great.
I loved it.
Gets real fucked up at the end.
And
Yeah.
Real fucked
really
up.
fucked up. And then the last movie I wanted to, or last show that I watched, that I really quickly want to touch on because it's interesting the way I watched it is Fleabag on Amazon.
I've
Oh.
heard so many people
Dee really likes
talking
that.
about
My
this
wife
over
loves
the
that.
weekend.
So here's the thing, I was
That's an older series though, right? They've been doing that for a while.
think
no,
it's
it's only
new.
2 seasons,
But it's been
and season 2 just came out I think
Okay.
last week.
okay.
So I went to watch it and I started it and I was like, wow, what a weird intro. But I guess that's how it starts. And then I watched
Did you do season
all
2?
of season
You started
2.
season 2.
And
I
I
did that
was
one
like,
time with an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where because it had like for some reason started midway through and I was like, what a weird cold open. They both have the measles with giant lumps on their necks. I was like, maybe they'll go back in time. No, I started this 15 minutes in. I'm an idiot.
Gosh.
But then I went back and watched season 1. Also a very similar weird intro that I was like, okay, that
Just the
like,
show.
It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
like that's how they like start. I did not like season 1 anywhere near as much as I liked season 2, but I
Interesting.
really liked season 2. So I'm actually very happy I saw it this way because I think if I had watched a couple episodes of season 1,
You wouldn't have
I
kept
wouldn't have
going?
been, yeah. And it's not like there's anything too crazy that like changes the storyline too much.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I watched one other thing this week too.
Oh, what'd you watch?
I watched Knock Down the House on Netflix, which is like
That's the-
the
yeah.
documentary about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and 3 other
Oh,
women
yeah.
that ran for Senate. Super interesting to see how like the grassroots movement start and stuff like that. If you have any interest in anything political or are intrigued by her like her persona. I think it's really interesting. So
It's interesting that Netflix is doing. That was Netflix.
yeah,
Because I think Amazon Prime also did one about I can't remember the guy's name, the governor maybe.
gotta give me more
For
than
Texas, the Democrat that won
that.
against.
Beto, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was
So-
Amazon.
Yeah, I think that was Amazon.
I haven't
It's
watched it
interesting
yet.
to see these like people that are currently or like looks like running for president in
2020.
2020. Yeah, I had to check the year. Getting these documentaries and getting
Yeah.
like focus put on them, seeing how that affects them.
Yeah, and then Knock Down the House, there's 4 women that are running, and at the time that they're filming, they don't know what's going to happen. Whereas I don't know anything about the Beto one, so I don't know like what they're framing it around or when they started filming or anything like that.
I mean, it's just kind of like it looks like it's the campaign for him running for senator. Senator sounds
Yeah.
right.
Was that this Beto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he lost, right?
No, he won.
No, he
right?
didn't.
No,
He lost.
Really?
Yeah, he lost.
Beto lost. That's right. Now he's.
That was the
running
one where
for
he was running against like
president.
Ted Cruz, right?
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought
everyone's
he
like,
won.
"Wow!" For
No,
the first
he
time
lost.
ever,
It was-
But it was super
it was
close.
very close.
It was
Very
close
close. Okay.
considering it's Ted Cruz and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
big.
considering
he's
it was-
held it.
yeah, where he's at and where they're running.
Yeah.
It's impressive. There's a shift coming. Hopefully, we'll see.
All right.
I don't want to get too political on this show, on this movie show.
Now it's time for some housekeeping. And we don't do a thing for housekeeping.
No, we
right?
don't.
Yeah, all right.
I just wanted to point out it's 26 minutes in.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
Hey, I'll do a housekeeping thing though, real quick.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, go for
We're doing a screening of Waiting for the Punchline at the Roxy on June 7th. If you guys want to come, you can go to kindoffunny.com/docfest to get tickets there and support our local indie festivals here in San Francisco. And as an added bonus to incentivize people, I am hosting a comedy show at Delirium Bar, which is right next door, right before. So you guys can get from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to be doing a comedy show at Delirium June 7th. You guys can come, have a drink. It's free. Hang out, get a little drunk, and then walk literally over to the theater right next door at the Roxy and come watch the Punchline if you haven't seen it.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be fun. That's kindoffunny.com/docfest.
I thought you were saying you were going to do a jingle for housekeeping.
Oh, sure.
We didn't
No,
even
it's
talk
too
about
late
the
now.
jingle that you did before the show. That was so good.
Fucking knocked that out of the
We have
park.
to get that video.
All right,
from
wait, just go over some housekeeping. This show is brought to you by our sponsors, Hims, but more about that later. Now it's time for the news.
News.
Okay, I guess I don't do anything anymore.
Well, I don't know, Barry. You're leaning forward like an 80-year-old man. He's like, I hate
Do you guys
this
do it?
job.
Is there a thing for news?
hostile? Yeah, Barrett does a really cool jingle. It's very similar to Nick's.
Nick just stole mine. That's
Yeah,
why-
Listen, man,
Yeah.
you got to get up pretty late in the afternoon if you want to beat old Uncle Nick. Barry, we're going to get you some lunch at the mall today. I'm making you come to the mall with
Barrett,
us.
just a heads up. Nick did the jingle last week while you were out. So now, it's in his head. He'll forget next week
It's
for
gonna,
sure.
Next week's going to be Nigga the Wild Wild West. Take you to the Wild Wild News. That's it right
Yeah,
there, dude.
yeah.
No, I got back to it eventually.
peek.
All right, our first news story.
We could
Sonic
Wild Wild
the
West.
Hedgehog movie release pushed to 2020 in attempts to fixing horrifying lead character.
Wasn't that horrifying?
I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to make it much
know if it
better.
was
I don't think it's going to help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I'm like, there's an outcry.
February 14th, 2020 is when it's coming out. Valentine's Day.
Great.
So-
what a great
Man, I
Valentine's
cannot
Day
think of
movie.
gonna be a
anything
great
I'd want to
one.
see more on Valentine's Day than Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
I think this movie's doomed.
It's
I don't
un-
think there's really any
But we're
saving
also
this.
not the target audience for it.
Yes, we are. We are 100%.
No, it's a kids movie.
We are.
Fucking kids movie.
So was Detective Pikachu, and we watched that motherfucker first screening.
He's
we
right.
are the
He's
absolute
right.
target audience for this.
nailed you guys.
But I feel like all of us have a you don't really
We
care
all
about
came
Pokemon,
out
right?
and we were like, "Hey, that was a kids movie."
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
like,
we're gonna see Sonic too because we
don't
are
know.
children. We are
I
man
don't-
children.
I really don't want to. I hope Tim doesn't make us.
Oh God, he's gonna do the thing where he's like, "I got you a ticket." I'm like, I don't want to see it. He got me a ticket to something next week. And
What
I
is
was like,
Fran
I wanna see
doing?
it.
Why is he
Yeah, you
peeking
got your
around this
ticket to
corner? giving me a
Godzilla. Why
little
would you
smile?
not want to see Godzilla?
It looks boring.
No, Godzilla's gonna be. I think Godzilla's gonna be.
I'm
really
sure it'll be
good.
great. I'm not
I
saying it.
hope it's good. I'm gonna see it. I haven't booked a ticket for it. Maybe I should.
I should probably do that too.
You can take
But
mine.
anyways,
Did you book a ticket for it?
I think Tim actually-
keep
well-
holding it. We did it. We tried something yesterday.
I think
and it
Andy
worked.
did the same
Okay.
thing too.
I don't know. I don't know if Tim booked. I think he said he booked me a
I
ticket.
think yeah. I think
'Cause I think
you
I
booked
have
it.
it in my A-list stubs.
Yeah, but Sonic, great. They're gonna redo his design. They're delaying.
What a waste of money.
The movie. Yeah, it seems
It's a waste
like,
of money. You're not going to get the return on your investment for this one. Trust me.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
the maybe come out of the gate with a trailer that doesn't have 15 minutes of Jim Carrey's bad improv in it. to win me
I
over.
think you watched a different video. That's
There's that first
I know,
trailer
I
was
know.
like, oh man.
So interesting, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Don't really understand.
That seems like a
I
weird
like that he
choice.
has his glove on though.
because like if it's a kids movie, what do parents love doing? On Valentine's Day, taking their kids to movies. I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I guess.
They ditch the kids, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I always babysat on Valentine's Day and made bank.
Yeah. No,
So.
that's the good like teen move to do.
Yeah. But
But like they're not gonna. I guess a bunch of babysitters and kids are gonna go watch this movie.
I would have been into that as a babysitter.
What, for
like, let's
Sonic?
check these out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking kids don't care about Valentine's Day. Parents will just take them to go see this.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure the movie will do fine. If kids, parents got to take their kids to do something. They don't want to talk to those fucking things.
You just call them those things?
Yeah, he did. All right, moving on to our next story.
Ever see a kid? They're great. This is Panzer G2 in the chat.
Speaking of video game movies,
Yeah.
Sony
Very excited for this next
launches PlayStation Production Studio to adapt its video game into films.
It's wild to me that they haven't done this earlier.
Really?
Yes.
By they, you mean like any
Sony.
major? Oh, just
It's
Sony
weird to me that
particular?
Sony wouldn't be like, hey, you know what? Here's the deal, and I might be reaching on this. So
Sure.
you guys feel free
Yeah,
to pull me
sure,
back.
sure.
But
Reach.
it's almost like if you let the people who are in charge of making the games, or at least like producing the games, if you let them actually have agency over the movies. Or like, for instance, I'm just throwing this out there. Like maybe if like they've made the comic books and then we let the people who make the comic books actually make the movies, like
Wow, what
we
a wild-
might
worked
get
wild
really good for
idea.
good fucking movies, right? It didn't work for DC because they don't have the same people doing that. They don't have.
No, I know. Didn't they put John what's his face on there to like helm all the movies, and then it just quietly went away?
It's too much. It was
Yeah.
too
It's
little,
too
too late.
late, yeah.
I think it was Jim Lee, right?
Jim Lee, that's
Yeah.
who I'm thinking. Yeah.
And Jim Lee's awesome. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, start it from the ground up. Let the people who have actually make the good decisions that sell millions of copies of games and make stories that people actually fucking love interacting with. Maybe if you let them be in charge of the movies, we might get a better product out. I'm just saying, I think this is a good idea.
Here is my concern.
What's your concern, Kevin? They're
There's
gonna go
a
all
lot-
Hollywood, do cocaine.
There's a lot of good movies out there. You know what
Sure.
I mean? Mm-hmm. This week, fantastic amount of movies came out that were very worth watching. If this slows down my video
Jeff
games,
Johns, excuse me, not Jim Lee, was the guy that for clarity.
yes, you're right. Jim Lee's the artist, right?
yeah,
Okay.
we fucked that up.
If this slows down, like let's say, I don't know, what's a franchise? God of War. They want to make a God of War movie.
Sure.
And if Barlog's probably working on God of War sequel.
Maybe.
And if for some reason now he has to work also on the movie, that's going to slow down my sequel.
That's true.
And I want that game now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll wait a year, 2, 5, whatever. But knowing that I have to wait longer for what could be a mediocre movie to come out.
You just don't want to interrupt the dev cycle.
Exactly. I don't want to interrupt the dev
Listen,
cycle.
everybody knows that an entertainment property is actually not legitimate until it has a mediocre movie come out.
See,
about it,
what
okay?
is the appeal there? I don't understand.
Well, the
like,
appeal is that I would love to see a God of War movie, and because I think they could make that awesome. I would love to see a Last of Us. I would love to see all these great movies, these great properties that I think have wonderful stories that people really connect with. I think it'd be great to take those into to a different audience that maybe doesn't play video games. I think why not? They're great stories. They're full of emotions and people can learn shit from them. I think it'd be great. But what I don't want to see is them going, hey, we're just going to streamline. We're going to put a team together of people that kind of can get these out the door so we can just make a little money.
So there's a quote here that says, I think it's from Sean Layden. They're saying already in production on its first slate of projects.
Yeah.
And a setup shop on Sony Studios lot in Culver City.
I also don't know what's first party Sony that they would go into production on, because you have to also understand, like, a lot of these, like, I don't know if the licensing deals will allow them to do some of the games that everyone loves because they're not first party, right?
Right.
Like Last of Us isn't first party, right?
I think it is.
Is it first party?
Yeah, I believe so.
Last
it's
of
made
Us,
by-
Horizon.
But see, that's the thing. I don't know who owns the rights to. I don't know if Sony 100%. Do
I
they?
believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. So first party means that Sony's IP is being made by
By a different group, but it's Sony's IP, right?
Yeah.
Because like Corey
and
Barlog
the
works
group
for
is usually owned Santa Monica.
Sony Santa Monica. So
Yeah.
that's Sony proper.
And it's owned by Sony. But those
Right.
are all companies owned by Sony.
Which one's Druckmann's company?
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog. But is Naughty Dog owned by Sony proper, or are they a third party that's
you want
just
to call Greg? Should we call
American
Greg Miller?
first party video game developer based in Santa Monica, California.
Yeah,
first
so
party
I mean,
meaning.
so that's the question is like
You can look at
Uncharted.
chat. I feel like they'll know that
Studio
answer.
was acquired by Sony
Yeah,
in
see?
2001.
Yeah,
Okay, so there you go. Naughty Dog does what Uncharted and Last of Us,
Crash.
right? Did they Crash also?
Yeah.
So
Way
those
back
are great.
in the day.
Yeah, but Crash is not owned by Sony. It is owned by Activision, I believe. Yeah.
But so I'm saying those two right there. Obviously, they've been working on the Uncharted movie like crazy, like for the longest fucking time. I don't know
Not
what's
working
going
on
with
it.
that.
It's been speculatory, and
Sure.
will this make it come out
I still
faster?
think that Mark Wahlberg. They need to go back to Mark Wahlberg. Fuck Tom Holland. But because he's like, hey, you guys see that? This is
You
treasure.
want that.
Let's go. Tons
You
of treasure.
want bad movies.
You
That's
want
what
bad movies.
Let me
This is
get
on
hey,
you.
And
do
it's
you guys want me to
upsetting.
run through a plane? I'll run through a plane. I played the first part of Uncharted 1 10 times. I never got past it.
I hate you so much.
I hate me too.
Uncharted is a great game, but does it have to be boiled down to a movie?
No,
And
but
same with-
if you tell me that the team that made that will make a really fun trilogy of movies, I would be totally down. Again, it's not either or.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be either or. I think there's
there's only so much.
We live in a world where people can write awesome comic books and also make awesome comic book movies. So why the fuck can't we live in a world where they make awesome games and awesome movies based on those games? I just don't get it. To me, it's like it's so ridiculous we haven't figured this out yet.
There's only
and
so
and
many.
we've got 22 fucking Marvel movies. The vast majority of them are actually good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
How put someone in charge that knows his shit and
I
fucking
just-
make the movies?
I don't think that like that medium needs to be merged. I think that we can keep things separate and like no matter how much. Well, I mean, so this is. I hope that they prove me wrong if someday a God of War movie comes out. But like the character development we get over like the 30 or however many hours it took us to beat it, like. I don't think that can be boiled down to 2.5 hour movie experience.
No, maybe not. But I think there are stories in there that you can tell. Again, I don't think you need to do an adaptation of the movies or the games
games beat
themselves.
by beat,
I think you
yeah.
just take that world and translate it over to a 2.5 hour experience, and you write a completely new story, or you write a story that's similar, and you give people something new, but also just a touch of the things they love from those series, right? Like Halo is the movie that everyone always wants to fucking make, and I think that the story in Halo could absolutely translate into like 2 to 3 movies easily. It's not that
Do you know the story in Halo?
the flood. They're fighting the flood. They're doing all this thing.
Hard no. Me neither, Nick. Me neither.
It's not.
But
It's not a very deep story. Let's put it that way.
But what
People
you're
go, "Yeah, it
saying
is."
is about character development. Like, how much percentage-wise of the game are you actually getting those character moments? Like, I'm thinking specifically in Uncharted
Yeah,
versus like you're playing where you're not having a ton of character
I see what
moments.
you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Like, if
You're
you're
saying
thinking
that
it's mostly
cut down.
cutscenes, and that you're gonna get more.
Yeah.
Movies are gonna be longer than the
God damn it,
cutscenes
Joe,
for
you're
every
making
movie.
a lot of good points.
Thank you. I tried.
But also, like, I mean, like, this is the problem. Is a lot of games are. Like that, and I think to her point, yes. Like if I heard that correctly, sorry, I was reading the chat. But
You're fine.
the story that you're getting in a lot of these games isn't actually probably that much longer than a 2 to 4 hour long movie, because you have so many different things that you're doing, especially these open world games where you're doing a lot of side quests and shit. You don't need that shit. You don't need that shit. Like with God of War, I can't speak to God of War because I haven't finished playing through the last one, or any of them for that matter.
Yeah, I feel like
that's probably the most narrative heavy one of the ones I'm thinking of.
But also, I mean, you're
Uncharted.
talking about Greek mythology. It could be totally, or actually, isn't it more than just Greek mythology?
yeah,
Does it
now
go into
it's
like
Norse
Norse
mythology.
Norse as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go, man.
really
That's a cool
interesting.
world. Let's fucking play in that. Why not?
I want it.
Just based on the hour and a half that I played a God of War, the last God of War, I was like, this would be a fucking bonkers movie. Let's
Only played
go.
an hour and a half.
I couldn't. I had the difficulty level set way too high. I was like, this is really hard.
It's a hard
Restart it.
game.
I think you would like it.
Oh, I'm planning on restarting that, and I got to go back through Spider-Man. But honestly, right
I
now
know
I'm
you
on that.
gotta-
I'm on that fucking
the
Rage
Rage
2
train.
train. Ooh, doggy dog. Daddy just got the rocket launcher
I don't-
and leveled
please
it
don't
up.
call yourself that.
And then I bought a bunch of weapon core
It
mods.
makes me
and now I am
uncomfortable.
fucking people up. I just took down a troll. It was dope.
I love it. I'm excited to see what they do with this. I would love to see what I didn't love Horizon, the game. Like as a game, the mechanics didn't.
But
Isn't really
looking
my
at
thing.
Horizon,
but as a movie,
visually,
I'd be so
could be a
stoked
dope
on
movie.
that.
Yeah.
Could be a very dope movie. Just even
Robot
from a visual
dinosaurs?
standpoint.
Hell
Robot
yeah.
dinosaurs in the future, female protagonists, kind of like, like primal. Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Why not?
But
That sounds cool.
Again, if it affects the like,
It won't though. I don't
I'd
think it
like to
will.
hope so. I'd like to hope.
I don't
so.
think it will, because you have to also remember that the power of this is synergy, right? You have to have the game come out and then a movie come out, or a movie come out and then a game come out, and they play off of each other. It
Yeah.
behooves them to have these properties come out every other year. So like imagine if they released it, like I know games are usually on a 3 to 4 year cycle, but so like a 3-year cycle, and then the next year we get the movie for it. That's jacked. Or even that same year. Yeah, they're gonna want that. Some executive somewhere is thinking like, hey, we need to have multiple properties so they can all play off each other and kind of cyclically drive the revenue up, which is exactly what Disney is doing fucking perfectly. Just study Disney, for fuck's sake. How hard is this?
It's gonna be interesting to see if they do diverge like storylines and stuff like that. How movies could then tie into DLC and stuff like that. Like,
that would be
look what Disney's doing with all the spin-off shows and things like that. It's all about keeping people's attention and keeping them interested enough to want to then engage with the next thing that's coming out. And yeah, you're talking DLC, absolutely. Like you have that cycle where it's game, then 6 months later movie, then 6 months later or 2 months later DLC, and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that'd
that's
be
awesome.
interesting.
I'm excited to see what happens. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If it's good, fucking great.
I mean, imagine a world
I'm
where
not going to be
imagine
complaining.
a world where the movie is sort of like not the same story, but just builds off of the story from the game and vice versa. That could be fucking revolutionary and cool.
Yeah.
But they'll probably fuck it up. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of things that they'll probably fuck up.
Cavway.
Oh no.
New Mortal Kombat movie set for spring 2021.
You can't fuck up a Mortal Kombat
released
movie.
by Warner Bros.
You cannot fuck up a Mortal Kombat movie.
Mortal Kombat movie release date being set for March 5th, 2021. 2021. It's gonna be an interesting year. There's a lot of other movie stuffs that are like coming around that time. The new Mortal Kombat movie does not have a cast yet, but the Conjuring and Aquaman director James Wan is producing the film. Behind the camera will be Simon McQuaid. Not ringing any bells to you?
No.
Making his directorial debut. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He did the commercial recently that came out with R2-D2 in a hospital.
Well,
You watch it?
I don't watch
missed
TV
that.
anymore.
It's a good
I'm beyond
commercial.
it now at this point.
It's a good
I watch
commercial.
exclusively old school YouTube videos.
Oh yeah. This is his only IMDb credit, which is interesting. Nothing.
And he's the
else.
one directing the new Mortal Kombat movie. Listen, don't get your expectations too high up for this bad boy, okay?
Yeah. Did you like the old Mortal Kombat movies?
I think I've seen one of them and then parts of a sequel,
Yeah.
but I don't know which sequel it is. Mortal Kombat's ridiculous. It's silly.
It's very
Would you
silly.
say that Mortal Kombat is similar to John Wick in that like you kind of know what you're going in to watch?
Of course.
Okay.
You're going in to watch
I've never
ridiculous
seen any of the
characters
Mortal
and they're
Kombat
going to
movies.
fight and it's going to be silly and the plot's going to be bonkers and it's fine.
To be fair though, like the reason that Mortal Kombat 11 got the attention of Tim and me was because of how bonkers the story trailer looked. And so if they could pull off something like as ridiculous as that
Sure.
in a movie, like I think it could be fun.
I think and honestly, to back that point up, it's a fun direction for it. Do we really need a hardcore I mean,
Gritty Mortal Kombat
Yeah, do we
movie?
need that? Or do we want to see like craziness? I want to see craziness.
From what I've heard, like Tim was saying that the story is fun. Like
in 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're doing
Like,
a movie
worth
called
playing.
Mortal Kombat about a bunch of people coming together for a fighting tournament, which
different
Same.
like times, time eras and stuff. That's
make
hilarious.
it like do a fucking rail the length of the studio and have fun writing that script.
Well, it
you
sounds
know?
like it's not too far away. You
Great.
know? That's exciting, I guess.
But I don't need. But that's the thing. I don't need my Mortal Kombat movie to be the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I need it to be just silly enough for me to be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get up and watch that in theaters with my friends and eat
Yeah.
popcorn and say that was nuts.
It
That's
sounds
where
like
they
a
should go with
perfect
it.
summer movie.
Absolutely, and it needs to be hella loud, just like the first time I watched the original Mortal Kombat
That's a
movie
March
in
movie,
Reno
so-
Valley.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. It seems like a fun, perfect summer movie.
But
Listen,
I feel
summer's-
like March.
Summer
there's
like
no
winter is
seasons
year round
here,
now.
you know?
Yeah, there's no seasons.
We don't have like
Year
a
round.
schedule that works out.
Yeah, but I feel like the industry puts out a lot of like
Sure.
fun movies. Like I don't know that we could have done a 3-movie circuit in March of this year. Like 3 movies we were excited to see.
I think we could have.
I don't know.
We can do that 3-movie thing anytime now.
I know. Gosh, we're not going to sleep ever on Thursdays.
No, Thursday nights.
Why don't you guys just do it on Saturday?
Because we
during
can
the
talk
day?
about it on the show.
Screencast.
Oh yeah, smart. You guys are always thinking about content.
Absolutely.
Content.
Anyways, I'm
I don't have
excited.
yeah, I'm excited too. I actually really like Mortal Kombat, both 1 and 2. And like, I know that they're terrible movies. No one is going to look at me and be like, I can't believe you like them. You think they're good. No, I don't. I don't think they're good. But I watched them growing up
but
and I
they're
was like,
entertaining.
these are
Yeah.
entertaining in the dumbest way.
Again, I mean, look, if they come out of the gates with a fucking great Mortal Kombat movie, I'll be
Awesome,
delightfully,
right? Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, that's a nice, delightful surprise. But if they come out of the gates with just 2.5 or don't do 2.5 hours, do like barely 2 hours
Yeah.
Dude,
of
145
bananas.
is a sweet spot.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Just silly characters fighting, cool choreography, some fun effects. Make a story at least somewhat compelling, so I'm not bored about 45 minutes in. And let me eat my fucking giant popcorn and suck my sorrows away with a giant Diet Coke. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm under the impression that like not all movies have to be great. There can just be fun movies.
Especially with A-list, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the sweet spot right here. This middle spot right here. This area right here. See, this is good, bad, bad. I love this. This takes up most of the space.
Yeah.
Bad, good.
Yeah.
You know why
I
not?
totally agree.
I just need a diversion for 2 hours to make me stop thinking about all the anxiety I have in my life for 2 hours.
I'm going to take a break from news and to go into our ad.
Yep. So yesterday
The show the class.
Yesterday, Internet Explorers, we did babies stuck in little tubes, and it's the best thing ever.
Okay, they weren't stuck in little tubes. Just to be clear, they were being X-rayed.
It's what
It
happens.
was cute, but
they
also a
look like
little
they're stuck
sad.
in
What
tubes.
happens is someone walked into a room, there was a bunch of loose babies that just sucked them up in a vacuum. Just
Like Augustus Gloop?
So I did the social promotion for that yesterday, and I still love the tweet that I put up for you, Nick.
What did you put
and
up?
It's just the thumbnail with the link, and all you say is, "You ever seen a baby in a tube?"
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
It's perfect.
People understand
All right,
me.
Jumping back to our news, Bond 25 shooting back on as Daniel Craig undergoes ankle surgery for onset injury. So just a quick update to our story from maybe last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Yeah. They are continuing filming. Daniel Craig will be undergoing minor ankle surgery resulting from an injury sustained during filming in Jamaica.
Fucking
Production will continue. Willis Craig's is rehabilitating for 2 weeks post-surgery. The film remains on track for the same release date in April 2020.
First off, shout out to the person who wrote this article for using the word whilst. Whilst Craig is real name. And secondly, come on,
Super
Daniel Craig,
British.
rub some fucking dirt on it.
Dude,
Rub some fucking
he's
dirt
getting
on it,
actual
bro.
surgery for it.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
No, this is a
fucking-
sign that he's fucking too old to be playing this
Let's
character.
He's been
go,
getting
bro.
hurt from the very get-go.
Bro.
We need to move
Are you
on,
just
though.
trying to
He
compare him to
lost
Tom
a
Cruise?
piece of his finger for this.
Tom Cruise broke his fucking leg in
And
half.
finish the scene.
And finished the scene. You see him limping in the scene, and they're like, we're going to keep that take.
It's a good take.
And then he took like half a day off, took an Excedrin migraine, and went back to fucking work.
Barry, can you find out how old Tom Cruise is versus Daniel
74
Craig?
years old, Tom Cruise.
No.
Daniel
I
Craig's
just wanna know-
72.
I want to say Tom Cruise is like
He's probably 55.
56.
I would buy 56. Daniel Craig, what? Like a sad
Tom
45?
Cruise, 56 years old.
Whoa, Joe.
God damn, Joe.
Oh,
No, I just
Joey
got a
gets
lot
the
of
prize.
Tom
Now-
Cruise
now-
knowledge
Joey
up
gets
here.
the prize.
You're so
Mississippi.
52.
I know.
Now, what is the age of Daniel Craig?
He's got to be in his 50s,
I
right?
want to say he's 52.
really? I would have guessed 48.
What about you, Nikki?
I'll say 52.
He is 51 years old.
Oh, wow.
Not bad.
Wow.
It's weird that he's younger than Tom. Tom Cruise does
I
not
know.
age.
No, it's crazy.
Tom Cruise looks younger than me, and I am only 32 years old.
I don't know if he does.
All
Are
right.
you 32?
But
Joey,
I've hit that fun part.
38.
I've hit that fun part. I'm 39.
remember.
I hit that fun part where I start lying about my age. No one knows.
I was like, I don't
Nobody
think
knows.
you're only
Why
like
would
2
anyone
years
care?
older than me.
Nobody cares.
Oh, that's right. You're 10 years older than me.
Yeah, I'm really old.
Yeah. All right, quickly moving on to the next story. Taika Waititi Akira film rides into theaters in 2021.
Bullshit.
Warner Bros. Says Akira will hit theaters May 21st, 2021.
This to me smacks of of another example of someone they just put their fucking flag on a date and go, we're definitely gonna do this.
He seems excited for it.
The fact that Waititi's on board, and I've read somewhere else that Leonardo DiCaprio is producing it.
Huh.
Yeah.
we'll
you
see,
confirm
man.
I'll look it up.
This seems to be one of those projects that they're trying to will into existence as opposed to like actually have a
But
team
you
working
love
on it.
Akira, right?
But Akira is one of the golden gooses out there. It's one of the movies that's been like just like Halo.
Is
It's
Golden
been passed
Goose
around.
the right term for that? It doesn't matter.
It's a sacred cow. It's one of those movies that has been
Thank you for changing the
sure. I don't
analogy
know
for
what
me.
the fuck. Who cares? You get what I'm saying. It's been passed around from director to director, and it's been in development hell for literally decades. I will believe this when I see a motherfucking trailer come out that someone screams Akira and crazy shit happens, and we'll see. But until that happens,
Tetsuo.
yeah. Until that happens, Taika Waititi just direct the next Thor. That's what we
DiCaprio has
really
actually
want.
been on board as a producer for it seems a little bit.
But see, so this is my
producing
point.
through his Appian Way. Is that his production company?
Sure.
I think so.
Along with Andrew.
This is my
Lazar.
point, though. Leonardo DiCaprio, who has a tremendous amount of pull in Hollywood, has barely been able to get this fucking thing off the ground. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I hope it happens. I'm excited to see a trailer. I'm not a huge fan of Akira.
I've never watched it.
I feel like the anime is very confusing.
Yeah, they cut
I'm
a
just
lot.
so confused the entire time. It makes me feel dumb, frankly.
To be fair, the manga is like over 1,000 pages
Yeah.
long, and they cut a fuck ton out. So,
They also
yeah,
just
it
took
is-
like the
middle
part
stories
of
that we
it.
told.
Yeah.
Where I'm not a huge fan of it.
I love it.
I like
so cool.
visually, it's really cool. I just don't 100% understand anything that's going on.
Watch
at
the,
all, even a little bit.
If you watch, I think it's the actual Japanese with subtitles. It's a lot more straightforward than you think.
You gotta concentrate a lot harder, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
You gotta
I
read.
remember when I was a kid, I watched because the only thing I had access to was the French Canadian like English dub of it, which made it like it was so fucking convoluted. I was like, I am not smart enough for this movie. And then they did another dub
French?
that's way more straightforward. I'm like, oh, it's just, but they were experimenting on kids. Cool. And one of them it worked and it went nuclear and blew up the city. And then it happened again with Tetsuo, and they have to bring the other one back to take him away into like this other realm. That's Akira.
God, it's so fucking
There's a whole
cool.
bunch of gang stuff, though, right?
Yeah,
happening
but it's
too?
because after the city blew up,
Yeah.
it kind of went post-apocalyptic, and then all these like, but they're just like that's what I never realized until I watched it recently was like the main character Kaneda or Canada as I don't know, I say Kaneda because I'm American.
Yeah, that's how you read it.
Is like 16.
Yeah.
He's a little shithead.
Yeah.
He's a little shithead, like, and they actually show him, I forget, in like high school. And I'm like, oh, he's a fucking little prick.
Yeah.
And I get it. And all of them
Such
are
a
just
cool
these
motorcycle,
wannabe
though.
posers on their motorcycles, and then they get into this real situation, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
They
And
don't handle
again,
it well.
and again, like, you can say what you will. The movie is almost, I want to say, like 30 or 40 years old at this point. It came out mid 80s, and so like, but you look at it now, still stunning.
Yeah,
The animation in it
is
is probably
phenomenal.
some of the best hand-drawn animation you'll ever see in your life. Beautiful.
1988.
Yeah, 88.
Which
so.
means it's 30.
You were 45.
I was in the middle of my second midlife crisis. Hate everyone. Are you kidding? I just turned 32. Oh, I'm so pretty.
I hope this movie happens. I really do. I wanna like this franchise. I like the visuals of the anime.
It's
So
again, it's very much borderline on. I mean, it's art. It's a beautiful, beautiful. It's in my opinion one of the best animated movies ever made. And actually, I'll say one of the best movies ever made. Period.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's a lot more straightforward than everyone thinks it is. It's
Yeah.
just because there's so many different things going on. But if you watch with the subtitles, you'll be like, oh, okay, they're just.
but then it's hard to read and then look at the visual
true.
beautifulness of
Yeah.
it.
It's true.
Splits your
Yeah.
attention.
All right, moving on to our next story. John Wick, Chapter 3.
Wait, hold on. What is this? Two Primos Supremos, 32 in dog years. Fuck you.
Oh, he got you so good.
Give me that Amazon. You know what? Give me that fucking Amazon Prime for this one. Give us
Please.
that
We
subscription.
need it. No, I'm just kidding.
We do need it.
So yeah, John Wick Chapter 3 takes out Avengers Endgame at the box office. After several weeks, Avengers, this last Friday that happened, or this last weekend that happened, Avengers is no longer number one. It got dethroned.
I mean, it was bound to
Wick
happen
took
at
a
It
contract
was
certain
down.
bound to
points.
happen. John Wick's a damn good movie, so it makes sense. The numbers were actually pretty close.
What was how'd they phrase that? John Wick took him down?
Took a contract on him.
Did he armbar him? I was just
Sure.
trying to relate it to jiu-jitsu somehow.
You were.
Didn't work.
Also, I don't have all the numbers, so I'm just not going to say any of
Doesn't
them.
matter.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it
But
was,
it was
an
close.
animal.
close.
Yeah, it
Either
was
way.
close. It's shocking that it's we had Dumbo and like several other movies came out. Granted, Dumbo wasn't great, but like nothing. It still was number one for so long, and now it's not. It's still on its way to.
Still has a ton of showings in
Yeah.
every theater.
And
I
I
mean,
kind of want to go watch it again soon.
I actually do want to see it before it goes out of
I
theaters.
want to
Yeah.
see it in
but-
IMAX. I still haven't done that.
IMAX is phenomenal. I don't know how it added so much when it's that extra like 20% or 30.
It's a different movie
But like
almost.
it's
Visually.
it's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
that's the way it was meant to be. IMAX 3D, so good.
I won't
love
do 3D,
3D so
but I will
much.
see
I love
IMAX.
Maybe I'll
3D
do
so
that.
bad.
Maybe I'll go see John Wick with you guys on Saturday and
Okay.
then go see Avengers IMAX.
I will say this
Hold
though.
on, let's make sure there's nothing coming out next week we want to go see. You know.
I will say I'm very glad that John Wick is doing as well as it is.
I am
like
too.
the series, and I'm happy that we're going to keep getting more of them because I think it's cool that they give Keanu Reeves work. I love him.
He's also in that Netflix movie.
I like
So
him too.
clearly, that's what's paying the bills.
It's just so weird that he was like the thing for a while, and then he was like, I don't want to do that shit anymore.
And now he's back.
Yeah.
But he's back
Better than ever.
But he's back on like his terms.
Yeah.
You know, where he's like, I just want to do this fun action movie. I don't want to do I don't want to be covered in gunk coming out of a fucking fetus for the Matrix with shit. I just want to like kick someone's ass.
I like to think that he was watching like on YouTube someone go through one of those speed runs with the guns, and he was like
Like just
"How do
watching
I-"
competitive shooting
Yeah,
videos.
yeah, just randomly. You know how you go just down the internet
rabbit
hole,
hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like,
is-
"How
what
do I
is
get
Grappler Baki?
someone
What
to
is this?
pay
I'm
for
looking
me to
at it.
become an expert in this?"
And he was like, I also would like to learn jujitsu.
Yeah.
And how do I pay
Well,
for
he was
someone?
already
Dude, that's
doing
my goal in
jujitsu.
life is for someone to come and be like, you need to get jacked to be in a movie. We're going to
not
pay
gonna
you lots of money and we're going to just put you through the gauntlet and you have 6 months. And
You're
I
gonna
get
turn to
fucking
steroids
jacked.
so fast.
Oh, dude, I would do steroids.
So
If
fast.
here's the thing. I would do steroids right now if I wasn't so lazy. Because you have to go to your doctor and be like, I need a TRT thing.
would
And my
be the
doctor's like, no,
worst.
don't do it. I'll get jacked.
No,
Or
I
roid
know.
rage.
But you would be like, Kevin, you've got to put the needle in me.
Kevin, stab me.
gosh, I hate
Kevin,
this.
stick me with it.
needle. I
Kevin.
knew it was gonna be stick me.
Stick me with your needle.
like that.
All right, quickly move. Oh wait, one more side story for John Wick
Oh,
chapter.
I'm watching this Baki thing. I don't know what the fuck this is, but I'm watching it.
What are you talking about?
The chat's telling me to watch Baki the Grappler. I'm in.
Okay, cool. John Wick chapter 4 will bring Keanu Reeves back for war on May 21st, 2021.
Which is the same day as Akira, yeah?
Yeah.
That'll be a weekend.
Yeah, that's
No,
Assuming that it
that will
actually
not be a
happens.
weekend. Someone,
Yeah, that's
if
gonna move.
Akira is
Someone's
coming
gonna
out,
realize-
John Wick is moving. That's how it's going to
You
go.
think that's
You
the
think
way it's
that's-
gonna go?
Fuck yeah, that's how
No,
it's
Are you
going to go.
kidding?
I think that they move Akira. I'm still not convinced that Akira's going to come out on May 21st.
I don't think it's gonna come out on
I
May
think
21st,
that's going to
but-
move.
If they do come out, they're two different enough movies, and I think Akira, if it comes out, it's going to be a similar situation to Alita or that one weird sci-fi movie that came out a couple years ago, where it's like a big deal to a very specific audience. But outside of that, and John Wick is also going to be the same. It's going to be a big deal to a very specific audience. I don't think they need to be as scared
I
of
think
each
John
other.
Wick's a little bit more mainstream. I think
agree.
that Taika Waititi is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
is also like he is
That's a
now a
name.
name.
He's a name.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And people, if the trailer comes out and it looks like hot fire,
Spoilers, if he has full creative control, it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be
hope so.
fucking really cool looking. And John Wick's going to go, we'll move.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll move, bro.
Valerian was the one I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about. Thank you, Arbel.
I hope to Christ it's not
God,
Valerian. I
Valerian
hope to
was so
Christ it's not. my.
That's my
This
gut
is everyone's
feeling.
worry with Akira is that it's gonna hit firmly in the Valerian Ghost in the Shell, Alita Battle
what I
Angel
was thinking.
area. It needs to hit more on the level of Star Wars or on the level of a Marvel movie.
I just don't think that it has the.
We'll see because they could build that world out to be that. But it needs to be Marvel level action with a Blade Runner 2049 level storytelling and like character development. But
It's a good combo.
and I think Taika Waititi could do that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I mean, just looking at these, like thinking for me, I think move over Taika Waititi. You know,
I do too.
because I think that.
I mean,
John Wick 4
all
was gonna be,
seriousness,
like,
you're up against a
bigger.
very established series at this point. You're in the fourth of the movie,
Yeah.
and they're starting to build more steam. So if this one makes money, like chances are 4 will make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably dodge that deal. But I also think they just think they planted a flag in the dirt, and we're like, once production actually kicks in, they'll adjust.
Yeah, that's what I'm
it'll
assuming.
get punted back.
It's
for
so
sure.
early, and like we know so little about development going on right now. I have a feeling that like I'm sure this is going to get pushed back, and that could be true for John Wick as well. You know,
Yeah, but I think John Wick. I think it's a little easier to make those movies.
Yeah.
Than
Oh,
Keanu.
At that point, it's a machine
They're like,
that's
Keanu,
already
get back in there.
well-oiled.
Keanu, we're going to teach you how to do a Kimura. You're going to do that for 45 minutes straight. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. The next topic I want to just quickly talk about is
What do you got? You
I-
got someplace better to fucking be today?
What?
I'm enjoying
should've
it.
gone to Buffalo
I'm
Wild
shocked
Wings.
that we're
Everyone-
going this long. I didn't expect
Everyone
to.
in this room except for Barrett is having a great time watching this show.
I was back on the train, but now that you're being a dick again, now
Damn it, Barrett.
So you fucked that one up.
I
You
did
should
fuck it
apologize to him.
I apologize, Barrett.
I don't accept your apology.
Well, then you know what? I rescind my apology.
So yeah, this next story I just called "Spider-Man posters suck." Bring it up, Barrett, will you?
Jesus.
So these are the Spider-Man posters that just came out.
Jesus,
earlier this week.
Joseph and Mary
How?
Christ. How many fucking billions do you need to make off of a single movie, Marvel, to hire Andy to do your fucking photoshopping? These are terrible.
I feel like that's rude to
They
Andy.
made $3 billion off of Endgame, and they're like, can we just hire someone that knows how to use Photoshop? What happened here?
You know Andy's better than that.
Andy would crush these. That one doesn't look too bad. But that's
Shadows
clearly
and
compositive.
stuff on so weird.
Yeah, this one actually is, I think, the best
Because I think
one.
they actually just took a picture of her.
Great,
But yeah, not great. But whatever. I don't care what the poster looks like. The Spider-Man.
Well, Far From Home had some interesting posters.
Homecoming
I'm sorry, Homecoming
had
some. Yeah, a decent poster. I like the poster for Homecoming.
Its trailer
the
wasn't
poster where fucking Tony Stark is on it 4 times.
Yeah. Or I mean,
like that?
remember the original Avengers poster where everyone's like, everyone looks good here except for why did they composite a picture of Robert Downey Jr. from like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang into this thing? It was very weird.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, so good.
Great movie. Everyone should go watch that movie this weekend. I mean, real talk, who cares? This movie's gonna be great.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we hope this movie is gonna be phenomenal.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
I think, I'm excited for Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm excited too. But yeah, not a great looking poster. I just wanted to look at
They
it for a
shit
second.
those things out over.
Yeah.
Someone's like, oh shit, we need a poster. Andy, what happened? And he's like, oh, working on party mode.
How does that
I can't
happen?
do it.
How does that happen? How is
So, to be honest, stuff like this is the only thing that like kind of makes me nervous about the Sony motion pictures stuff with the studios. Like, the way
Yeah,
that
but
they've
Marvel-
handled Spider-Man is a little weird.
Marvel's
I don't know.
still driving the car on this
No,
one.
I know,
hope
but
so.
if you give Sony their own thing, and then they don't have a Marvel,
Well, this
to,
they
like,
probably
course
were like,
correct.
just let him do the posters. Just let him do the posters, you know?
Let
It's
him
like, what's the
have
worst
it.
that can happen? There'd be a couple bad, and then they see the posters and they're like, never let Tony do the posters ever again.
Yeah.
Don't let him do the posters
It's my one
anymore.
little concern. We'll say that.
You got to play nice with others. Let's put it that way. Unfortunately, until they get Spider-Man back where it belongs.
Another quick story that I just kind of want to get to. Rotten Tomatoes now requiring users to verify ticket purchases to impact audience score.
Good.
So you can't review bomb.
Yeah, because they've had all this trolling happening where people are going in and review bombing and lowering scores of movies that for not great reasons.
Yeah.
That'll be
political
Now,
reasons.
interesting.
currently it only works with Fandango, and
That sucks.
they own Fandango. So people are like, that's really interesting.
Are you just trying to push sales?
Yeah. They have said they're going to integrate like AMC and like
Sure.
all the other major like where you
Theater
can get
chains.
Listen, I think if you are forced to verify that you've actually seen a movie before you render an opinion on it and potentially affect other people's opinions of whether they want to go see that, I think that's a good thing.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
I think it's
And
accountability, and that's good.
this kind of like makes me want to actually
Use
go
it?
and leave reviews that are a little because it seems like fun, and it actually kind of like, granted, it's 1 star out of like maybe 5,000 or
Yeah.
one review so it's not going to affect it on the grand scheme. Grand scheme.
Tonio 07 says the other way around. Fandango owns RT.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Either way, they're connected.
Yeah.
They are intrinsically connected.
But I think that this, hopefully they integrate all the other services soon.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is not a bad thing.
I think it's great. I think it's one more step towards some level of transparency for these things, and I think it's good. And I do think that, like, even though I think it's abhorrent when people can go out there and bomb a movie because they just didn't like it when other people liked it.
and it's upsetting because like there
Without
are
even
people
seeing it, I feel like for a lot of
like
them.
we know this stuff because we like to keep up with this sort of news. But I feel like your Joe Schmoes out there.
Look at the thing and go, oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm not seeing that movie. It's at a 74,
Yeah,
even though,
exactly.
like, people just had a problem that it had a female protagonist.
Right.
You're like, come
Yeah.
on, get over
Yeah,
it. Come on,
yeah.
everyone. Like, let's not do that.
All right,
I love it.
Our final story for today: Star Wars: Knight of the Old Republic movie in the works at Lucasfilm.
Now, normally I don't get jacked
Yeah.
for things that happened 4,000 years in the past.
Sure.
But I think this could be really cool.
Yeah.
But I just still can't help think that there's still some part of my brain that goes, it already happened. We already know how it worked out.
But weren't you saying earlier that it doesn't count unless it's a movie?
What do you mean?
No, when we were talking about PlayStation.
No, I
Productions.
just mean in general, like when
Yeah.
with like Game of Thrones, for instance, is
Oh,
doing
got it.
the prequel that happened 1,000 years in the past. I'm like, I don't really care because I know how it ends up eventually. Ultimately, same with Fantastic Beasts, where I'm like, yeah, the reason Fantastic Beasts is not as fun is because I know how this all ends up. I read the fucking
Is
books.
that why it's not as fun?
Also, they're not very good.
Yeah,
it's not very
exactly.
good.
Bad writing.
To be fair, the Crimes of Grindelwald, I stand by, was actually a fairly decent
No, it's not.
It
film.
was significantly
if
better.
you're a
than-
big fan, it's got a lot for fans to like it.
It absolutely
It is
does.
a jumbled mess of garbage, but it smells good. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way. You're like, oh, That like someone, you know how sometimes you throw coffee grounds in your garbage, you're like, oh, it smells like coffee, and then after a second you go, no, that's still fish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's still fish. That's kind of
You're
crimes of
saying
Grindelwald.
it's bad.
I'm saying there are things.
Is it bad or good bad?
I think it's good bad. I think that Crimes of Grindelwald was. I don't know how we got on this. I'm sorry. Go back to.
No, it's fine.
What were we talking
I
about?
do agree with you. Where it's like if you're a hardcore Harry Potter fan, there's
something in there for
There's
you.
little things in there. There also
Like
are
going
little
back to
things that
Hogwarts
annoy
and seeing
you.
it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
I
end,
liked-
which we won't spoil.
No, don't spoil it
But
for
like, I was like, this doesn't seem.
So that's what's going to be.
Canon.
But so bringing it back to Star Wars, that's what's they're going to have to do to really draw me into it. Is they're going to. I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't. You can't put it far enough in the past for me to really give a shit about what happens, because ultimately we know what happens, which is that there's a rise of a galactic empire, and that's the stories that we care
here's the
about.
thing, it's so far in the past that it may not directly connect to any of this stuff.
Oh, of course it won't. I mean, there's no
So-
possible way it could
Because
directly
like who
connect
knows?
to it.
Like maybe this leads into like some empire that lasts for 1,000 years,
That's
and it's
fair.
like then it doesn't. You know,
Then
there
it's
could
separate
be
enough.
cool consequences in these movies.
I just think there's no tension in inevitability, and that's my biggest problem. Is that
that's what Thanos thought.
well, I mean, that's so a lot of people call me the Thanos of the internet, and they call Tim the Brad Pitt of the internet. I
They do call him that.
I want to see
It's an old-
what I'd like to see is a movie series that's set 1,000 years in the future from the Skywalker franchise. I want to see that because I want to get away from everything that we've seen in Star Wars so far. Have little touches of it here, maybe 100 years, but like. Just get away from it.
Yeah.
Let's go into the future and let's tell new stories here.
But I
we
do
don't-
think that they could do that and it just be totally unrelated, and it doesn't have to be a time jump.
Of course they can.
And
there's a
that's-
little part of my brain that goes, this shit already happened. You know, it's like same reason why none of us give a shit about American history. You know what I mean? Like when I talk about 200 years ago, that already happened, bro.
I don't stand
What have you
behind
done
that
for me
statement.
right now? RN.
I like history.
Right now.
Yeah, we all like history here.
It's boring. It's done. Happened
Can't
already.
wait to bring up this argument when we talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What do you mean?
History. It's old. It's boring. You shouldn't like it.
Well, that's a fiction.
Oh, she fucking
But
got
it's
you.
tied to.
Oh shit, he got you
1969.
back. Oh my
But
god.
it's a fictionalized recreation of
All right, let's continue with
of
this
that.
story. We can
Also
talk
bringing
about that
historical
story later.
elements.
But also I know how that ends.
But it doesn't
No,
end the
it's
same way.
boring.
Is the question.
Probably.
Now we're just arguing our
I
opposite
think Shantae
things.
dies in this movie. I don't think it's gonna be.
I mean, it's a different universe. Like he said that before.
We talking about Once Upon a Time, but that you can't compare
Anyways,
those two. That's
I'm-
apples to oranges.
I'm excited.
That is an absurd comparison.
Did you play Old
Just like
Republic?
fucking with you.
No,
Me neither. I know that the storyline is super cool.
a lot.
Everyone-
I know that
people that
everyone
have
loves
Done a lot of
Knights the Old Republic.
Wikipedia.
Yeah,
It looks really cool, and it's just interesting to see what happens. Like right now, everything's super speculatory. We don't know when this is coming out, but we do know that they are taking a break after Rise of Skywalker, 3 years, and then afterwards we'll have 3 new yet unannounced, untitled Star Wars films starting in 2021 or 2022. Sorry, 2022.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I think this could be really cool. I don't know enough about it to be like, oh, that's like they're gonna ruin the game, and I'm never gonna play
I
that
think
game.
it's far
'cause
enough
old.
away from the game that I
Is it
think they
even-
could definitely do
Can
something.
you even
in that
play it
world.
on current console?
Doesn't Xbox have that thing where you can play old Xbox?
I think you can play it on
Backwards
Xbox
compatible?
Yeah, backwards
One.
compatible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, cool. Everyone's excited about that. Now it's time for some trailer talk.
Woo!
We're gonna talk about the trailers that we watched this
Trailer,
week.
trailer.
I will say the one bad thing about watching 3 movies in one day is you see
All the
all of the same
goddamn
goddamn
trailers.
trailers.
Oh, that's the worst.
That was actually Brightburn had different trailers,
Yeah, but at
but
that
it still
point I
had
was,
Chucky.
and I still skipped the first like 10 minutes. Like
Yeah.
we walked in super late.
But that's not the good thing about assigned seats. Yeah.
Jessica7 says you can play KOTOR on your phone. Nice to Old Republic on your phone.
Really?
And I
experience.
can confirm it's also on Xbox One.
Cool.
Looked it up.
Interesting.
I should
Okay,
go back and
cool.
play that. Yeah, it didn't speak to me. I think the style of game just wasn't my thing.
It's old, you know. There's no way that like
But it was
feels,
like
it's
I forget what
turn-based, right?
was it. Turn based?
is it
I thought it was like an
turn-based?
MMO.
It's a BioWare RPG.
Yeah.
Is it not turn-based?
God, it's been so long. I
I don't know.
believe
We'll
so.
figure
Let me
it
know.
out.
Look at the
We'll
chat
figure
and
it
let
out.
me know once they say anything. So the first trailer we're going to talk about is Terminator Dark Fate.
I'm so excited for this.
Really?
I'm sorry, Andy just walked in very
Yeah,
slowly.
very
I don't know if he had
antici-
something. I don't know if he had
Oh,
something.
no,
to
we
drop.
don't
No,
do
we
that.
don't watch those. We can't.
Have
we
you
have
not seen that show ever?
No, Andy does not watch the show.
Oh.
I surprisingly liked this trailer,
I did too.
and I think it's. I don't think we need this movie.
no,
But I want
definitely
it.
not.
I don't
Want
think
it is
that.
a little bit too far for me. Like, I'm okay that it's coming.
A direct sequel to T2, and it retcons all the bullshit stuff that we don't care about.
It is some would say, I mean, just based on the trailer, it looks like a complete ripoff of T2. Because it has a Terminator with liquid metal and then another Terminator that's protecting a small child, and then also Sarah Connor's in it again. It is the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
Is it a small child? I think it's a ripoff of Terminator 1. She's that lady is Sarah Connor. Right?
No, Sarah Connor's Sarah Connor.
No, I understand, but like, it seems like the changes in Terminator 2 have created now a new altered reality where it's like, okay, John Connor is not the savior. I think this lady's kid will be the savior.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that kid is the John Connor of for all intents and purposes, they just recast the story, and it's the same story of Terminator 2.
But like, that's interesting.
But then you
right?
also add the dynamic of Sarah Connor and
coming in being like, hey, I don't
understand why Schwarzenegger has to be in these anymore. Stop, you're old. Stop.
But we saw that he can still take that weird, crazy back kick thing. Like, I don't know.
That's all the steroids.
Yeah.
At some point, his body's just going to go. His body's going to go like this. It just disappear into a dust of steroids. Yeah. Smell it. Everyone snort it.
Oh my gosh.
I'll wait to see more on this, but I wasn't. I know that when it came out, there was a lot of hate. I was hearing some criticism of it, and I watched it. I was like, dude, it's got Mackenzie Davis in it, and she's fucking
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
So it looks fun to me, but I also am not expecting Terminator 2 anymore. The last 3 Terminator films that came out were just weird as fuck. But I'll say this.
And not good.
I watched Genesis, and I was entertained. Granted, I watched it drunk in a Vegas hotel room with Greg and Tim when we ordered pizza beforehand.
Sounds like so much fun.
It was a blast. It was one of those big hotel rooms that had like a living room, and I was like, this is like a slumber party. This is really fun. It was a little spend the night, Kevin.
Yeah, it was a little spend the night.
Spend the night.
I was caught off guard because I thought I'd seen everywhere that this, like, oh, it doesn't look good. And then I watched it and I was like, that's actually an interesting concept. And I'm down to like check this movie out. Do I think that the next trailer is gonna come out and like totally be like, oh, this does not look good?
Isn't that what happened with Genesis? Where like the second trailer was really
I think it was
not
like
good?
the third trailer, but yeah.
People are saying, Panzer G2 asked an interesting question. How's Arnold in it if it's a direct sequel to T2 though? We don't necessarily know that he is a Terminator in this. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, you think it's the scientist?
I think he might have been the person that like
he's
maybe
gonna have
modeled.
that other voice.
Possible.
Did you ever see that deleted scene?
No. Did he have a different voice?
Yeah, so it's the general, and he's got like an Alabama accent.
Does he?
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's not going to do an Alabama accent.
And
There's no fucking way that man could do any accent
was,
but Austrian.
It was what is it called? They dubbed the voice over.
Yeah, a dub. Yeah.
It was a dub. And then
they just used Gene Hackman from fucking Red Tide, Crimson Tide.
It was this dude showing the video and like to a bunch of generals, and the general's like, "That's great, but we hate that voice." And like the guy's like, yeah, we can find a solution or something like that, but in Arnold's voice, and it was
interesting.
Yeah,
I never saw that scene.
It's a great little
which
Easter egg.
Which movie is that
scene.
a deleted scene?
2.
You don't seem confident in that.
Oh, no. Did you check the chat? Let me know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how any of this is working.
Yeah.
Like Genesis threw everything for a fucking loop, and their explanation for why everything was the way it was like nonsensical. It was ridiculous. But I would love if Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't have to play a Terminator in this. If he could play just a normal character, and we'll see how he can act after 50 years of learning.
Everybody says it's T3.
Oh, there you go, T3. So that's been deleted.
T3 was the scene from T3.
Yeah, I guess so.
Got it. That was not Salvation. Salvation was the one after that, right?
Yeah, it was
Salvation
just called T3. Right?
It was just T3.
Terminator 3 was called Rise of the
Machines,
and then 4 is just called Terminator Salvation, and then 5 is Genesis. I know way too much about.
Yeah, Terminator 3 was great because they were like, "Hey, you remember how we were trying to change the destiny of everything that happened? No fate but what you make it." Yeah, we were wrong.
Yeah.
This shit's gonna happen no matter what.
Yeah. That
you
was
can't fight
really
it. It was interesting.
Dope concept, poorly executed.
Terribly executed,
Yeah.
and they couldn't even get Eddie Furlong back for it because he was a mess. R.I.P.
Who's that?
The kid that played John Connor in
Is he
T2.
dead?
I think he died. Yeah.
Oh,
damn.
I didn't know that. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm just always excited for more Terminator, even though they usually fall in the bad category.
This makes me want to watch the movies that now have been scrubbed out of existence in that universe just to...
Terminator in review.
Did I just make up that Eddie Furlong died? No, he's very much alive still.
I was gonna say
Maybe he just had some substance problems. I don't know. They couldn't get him back for the third one for some reason.
he's kind of a mess. Yeah.
He's a fucking mess.
All right, moving on to my next trailer movie that I am extremely excited for. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Hell yeah.
So excited. So I will say
Say it.
I'm not a Tarantino person. Wasn't really big on like, oh, they're super gory and all that stuff. Like that was a big turn off for me. Man, I don't know that I've ever been. Well, that's not true. This is the most excited I've been for a trailer, I feel like, in 2019.
Well, I think this is also probably his most accessible movie.
Yeah.
Like I watched the trailer for this. I'm like, oh, this just looks like a fun, really cool, stylized like movie that where we get to see what Hollywood, like a different, like a Tarantino-esque version of what Hollywood would have been like in the 60s, you know?
Yeah.
I think the movie takes place in 1969, and I think it's cool because obviously it's sort of his love letter to classic Hollywood.
Yeah.
But with that Tarantino like infused like kind of fucked up darkness to it. So you see, and I love the concept of like this aging star. In this trailer, we also see him like just coming to the conclusion that he's a has-been, and then he has to deal with that. And then of course, I was wondering how they were going to work in the Sharon Tate stuff.
Yeah.
And then having her live next door and being sort of a rising star as his star is falling, I think is a really cool concept.
It's really
and it has Bruce Lee in it, so I will see it. It's not really Bruce Lee, but it's a guy playing Bruce Lee, and
The
I'm like,
guy
that's
they
awesome.
cast as Bruce Lee is
Right?
fucking
Super great.
awesome.
Fucking
the
awesome.
line that he has in it, so good.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I think it looks. I mean, I think this is probably on track to be one of my favorite Tarantino movies, just based off of what I've seen in this. I just
real
love.
excited.
I just love the vibe of it.
Yeah.
You know, like you watch Hateful Eight, and it has that very much like
love Hateful
play
Eight.
style, slow, methodical, fucked up vibe to it. This has
It's going back to the Pulp Fiction era.
this is kind of going back to a little bit more fun and silly and like weird. And I just like the style of it. I like that it's Tarantino's sort of like love letter to Hollywood, but you know it's going to be dark and fucked up eventually.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for this movie to come out, and I thought the trailer was phenomenal.
The integration of all the Manson stuff, I think, is going to be super interesting. And I'm
like we actually see Charlie Manson in this, and he's like, hey,
and you see like
Oh,
the
way.
ranch and stuff like
I
that.
see him walking with the knives in that one shot. Ooh, not gonna turn out well.
Well, he
Yeah.
never did anything.
Charlie,
Yeah.
It's
he's just an inspiration. Look, what have I told you, Kevin? If you inspire
Nope.
greatness in
Stop.
people,
Nope, too far.
they will. You can't get put in jail for that, right?
Yeah, he
No,
definitely got put in jail.
Still in jail.
Did he? Is he still in jail?
No, he's dead now.
Yeah, he died.
Or did he pass?
Yeah.
Fairly recently.
Recently-ish.
Well,
2
he
years
was a
ago, maybe.
psychopath.
3 years, yeah.
I think it
I'm
was
really
great.
excited. This was the one because I usually with movies that I know I'm going to see, I don't necessarily make like a huge point to see trailers. So when we saw it in the theater yesterday, that was the first time I'd seen this.
Oh,
one.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
had no
hadn't watched
idea.
it, and I was like, oh, I am even more in than I was before.
Oh.
So I don't know. I'm excited. Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate seems like a really good casting choice. I'm excited. Have
swear to
Leo
God.
and Brad Pitt ever done a movie together?
Not that I know of, and thank God they're doing one now.
Right?
Because it was like, you know, back in the day, it was like when
the
Pacino and
hotness.
De Niro had never done a movie together. They had been in Godfather 2, but they never had a scene together because it
Yeah.
was like he was playing the younger version of his dad. And then finally Heat came around and
Yeah.
they were like, motherfucker.
Man, this is good.
We're getting a whole movie with Brad Pitt, and they look like they got great chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like kudos to them for, like, if I were Brad Pitt and I was that good looking, I'd be like, I don't really want to share the screen with someone equally as good looking as me. But they were like, no, we're going to put our ego aside and we're going to do this for Nick. And thanks, guys.
Just for you.
The only other thing that they've been in together was something called The Audition in 2015, and it's a Martin Scorsese directed short.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, that's the only other
Interesting.
thing.
And shout out to Al Pacino, who was apparently in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As the producer guy. That's cool.
Yeah.
And Nick Stahl's alive too. Who am I thinking died? Maybe it's Anton Yellick. That's what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
Anton Yellick
I know that, but
definitely
I don't know
died.
why I think he was in a Terminator movie.
Because
Someone.
Anton Yellick was in Terminator Salvation.
Was he he was Salvation.
He plays Kyle Reese, a young Kyle Reese.
That's right.
Oh, does he?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Ah.
Again,
Alright.
I know way too much about this movie.
No, you don't. You know just the right amount, sir.
And
There's no such thing as way too much.
now let's talk about our last trailer,
What's our last trailer?
Star Trek Picard.
Yeah! Woo!
I am
All right!
adequately jacked for this. We were talking earlier, and my hope is that they don't go Discovery with this. My hope is that they go a little bit more Next Generation with this, where it's, you know, because obviously the time span between Discovery and this is what, like I want to say like 100 years between Enterprise, between Next Generation and the original series.
Next Generation. I think it's more than that, but
Is it
not
more
too
than
much
that?
more.
So what I'm hoping is that we get back to a little bit more of a smaller story, more episodic with these. We see what the world is like through Picard's eyes. You were mentioning that like it would be cool if a lot of it happened on Earth, and we get to see what Earth is like.
My hopes are that it is very much him trying to be coaxed back into becoming a captain.
Captain, yeah.
And like
or coming back out of retirement. Yeah. Because it looks like he's just been on the vineyard bottling Picard wine. Picardi and Coke.
Cool.
You know they're gonna sell it, and you know that we should buy it.
100%.
Yeah, we should get fucked up on Picard.
So yeah, I hope that it like the first season like ends with him getting back into the captain.
I would love that. I think they're gonna probably get him back on the Enterprise very quickly. I would imagine they're gonna get it back on by like episode 2 or 3.
Well,
that soon, you think?
Well, because you have to remember, like, I mean, the original, like, when you watch Next Generation, and actually when you watch any Star Trek, there's always an admiral coming on fucking with shit. You know, there's always like, oh, Admiral Picard's coming, Admiral so-and-so told us we have to do this. And then they always take over, and then it's always like, we got to do what he says, but he's kind of wrong, and we have to do this other thing. So, I imagine that he'll have to be called back into service for a certain diplomatic reason to go do something, and he'll have to get back on the Enterprise and go like, do a treaty with the Klingons or something cool like that. But what's going to be amazing is like Patrick Stewart basically bookending his career with Picard is fucking awesome. Not to say that he doesn't, the man
he's
doesn't
got
have
many years left. Shame
but
on you.
What I'm saying is,
why he refuses to come on our shows, I don't understand.
I don't get it. We've asked him numerous times
so
on Twitter.
hard. I might tweet it out again.
I think I'm looking very much forward to this, and I think on a grander scale, this is what CBS All Access needs.
Yeah.
They need this show. They need to become the Star Trek All Access service, because I think the content they have right now is only going to keep them for so long.
I mean, they have a bunch of stuff slated. They have like 3 more shows, including Picard as well.
Them all.
Right?
Like obviously, like but like right now, I have nothing to watch on that platform. So
well, I mean, there's going to be dry spells, and that's what keeps you excited to jump back in.
Yeah.
Have you kept up with Twilight Zone at all?
I don't like Twilight Zone.
Really?
I just don't like Twilight Zone. I don't like anthology series.
Oh.
Series.
So you're not excited for the new Black Mirror trailers that dropped?
No, I think they look cool. I just don't care.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I would have totally pegged you as a Twilight Zone person.
I've watched 3 episodes of Black Mirror, and I totally understand why everyone likes them. And I'm like, these are fucking awesome, but they are too dark. They put me in the wrong mood, and I have nightmares, and then I'm all fucked up the next day. I don't want to watch that shit.
Yeah.
And Twilight Zone's the same way. I've never been a Twilight Zone fan. I've never been when I watch a series, I get invested in the characters, and then I want to see more of them. And then when they don't come back in the next episode, I just don't like it very much.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's my one and only flaw.
No, it isn't. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that we get a little bit more in the next trailer, just a feel for what the show's going to be.
Oh, we're going to get a real trailer. We'll see some story elements for sure. I'm actually wondering and very curious to see who, if anyone, from the Next Generation cast they decided to bring back.
Someone in the chat whose name I have now forgotten.
Is it P.D. Popoff?
No.
Is it Parker Petrov?
Meteor something. Was saying like there's probably not going to be any more Data, and it's like, it's
right.
He is
R.I.P. Data.
He's dead.
Titan Meteor.
Yes, Titan Meteor, and it's like, man, I don't know if that's something I can handle.
Maybe they'll bring him. Well, I mean, he's an android. Maybe they'll bring him back.
He was the only sentient android.
He was not the only. He had a brother.
No. Yeah, but Lore sucks.
Yeah, he did suck.
And also is dead.
Yeah. Did he die also?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, are we getting a Riker? Are we going to get a little cameo from Riker? Are we going to bring back
Captain Riker?
Captain? Maybe he's the captain of the Enterprise. Who knows?
That'd be really
Are we going to
cool.
bring back Deanna Troi? Are we going to bring back Beverly Crusher? Like, I think all these actors are still alive.
I don't remember.
Will Wheaton's still kicking around the fucking Geek and Sundry, right? Like, can we just pull him out of YouTube obscurity to throw his ass back in the show?
I don't remember the ending of The Next Generation. Even a little bit. And I never watched Nemesis. But now I kind of want to go back and watch them. But,
I'm sure they'll do a previously.
No, I know that they will. But like,
hello,
I just kind of want to see where things are at. And like, I love Next Generation.
Oh, as people are saying, Riker's directing it. That's right. Because what the fuck is the actor's name? Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah.
Directed a lot of episodes of The Next Generation. And the fact that he's coming back to direct this is awesome.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
You think he's going to
throw his ass
continue
in.
doing the like weird sitting thing that he does?
Yes, please.
Dude, when you're 8 feet tall and you can just whip your leg over any chair, you do it, man.
I love
so
it.
weird.
If I went to a Chipotle today and could do that, I would do it. I would show the fuck off and flex for those Chipotle people.
Anyways,
Please do.
I cannot wait for this show to come out.
I think it's gonna be great.
You know,
I think this is a fucking wonderful, wonderful thing that if you'd have told me 2 years ago was going to happen, I'd be like, no fucking way they're going to do it. No way they're getting Patrick Stewart to come back and reprise his role that made him famous as Picard. And then you see him in the thing, you're like, like I almost teared up when I saw a picture of him with like the little collar where it's like, oh, he
Your
might be
little
in the
heart
thing.
just like flutters a bit.
He's fucked up every transition I've tried to do today. Every single one.
Listen.
Anyways, out this week, stuff on streaming services.
I heard it, Kev. I heard you trying to do it. And
I did too.
Yeah.
It's
I was
okay.
rooting for you the
No,
entire
it's
time.
okay. It doesn't matter.
You got to
Listen,
do,
you
you got to
be
do the
really
thing where you tap
excited
the
about
pages.
something.
You tap the pages.
A couple-
That means you're moving on.
Of shows that I want to talk about. There it is. Hulu, we've got Preacher complete season 3 coming out. On Netflix.
Has anybody watched that?
No, but Nick said he wanted to and then never gave it a shot.
Interesting.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
I watched like one episode of Preacher, and it wasn't anywhere close to the graphic novel, and I was like, nope, don't want this. I don't want a PG Preacher. No thanks. That is all.
On Netflix, Arrow season 7, Moonlight.
Shout out to
I'm
Moonlight.
excited. I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm excited. I really want to watch it. Also, The Flash season 5. And then out in movie theaters near you.
Flash is still going.
No, it's crazy. We have Aladdin, Booksmart. Booksmart, you should definitely go see. Brightburn, Fandango. Yeah, Brightburn is also good. But like, if you have to choose,
Booksmart.
But then if you have to choose, also John Wick.
but all right,
But John Wick came
I'll
out
get
last
into that in a second. And then there's also early access for The Secret Life of Pets.
Are we gonna
with
go?
Fandango, if you want to do that. You can use your A-list movie, whatever it's called, subscription. You just have to enter it when you go to pay.
Kevin, question: is there not a big topic this week? I thought we were going to talk about Adam Levine quitting The Voice. I thought
Jesus, that's about as compelling as Tim wanted to talk about the goddamn
It'd be funny
Bachelor.
to do that, but I guess I decided not to.
No? Ah, okay.
Yeah, earlier today you asked me, Nicholas, if out of those 3 movies, which one is the one that I'd recommend?
Sure.
And I didn't answer at that moment.
I noticed, but you know what? I just went on with it because I'm a professional, unlike some people who call other people out for maybe missing transitions.
For me, it was like, while I very much enjoyed John Wick, and I think it's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I think Booksmart is the movie I'd be like,
Hell
you should
yeah,
go
it
watch
is.
this one.
Really?
Because I'm
I
a
do
comedy
not feel
man
like that.
myself. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
love comedy, truest of all.
Yeah,
And that movie is fucking funny
it is.
and beautiful.
I think we differ in our rankings. If I'm going to use your ranking, I think John Wick gets the 2 thumbs up, and I think Brightburn and Booksmart get 1.
Whoa.
Yeah,
But Booksmart was so good.
it was. I'm not saying it's not good,
It
but
just
I think
wasn't top tier.
I don't. Yeah,
Interesting.
I put it on the same. I still put that on the same level as whatever the one that we saw last week with Charlize Theron.
Oh, yeah, Long Shot.
Long Shot.
Long Shot was surprisingly good.
I put them on the same level.
Yeah, I think Booksmart, for me, a little higher.
A little bit higher.
A little higher.
I don't know. They're all good, and you should see them all.
Absolutely. For next week's bronze topic, I want to know what you thought about Aladdin. Let's not put any spoilers in there because I am a dum-dum who will just read stuff that's on there and then people get upset at me. Sorry for all the people that watched.
It's a 30-year-old
Detective
movie.
Pikachu.
No, the new Aladdin, you idiot.
It's a 30-year-old story.
It's
No,
way
I
older
know,
than
but like,
that.
what if
A
they
really
change
old
it?
world.
What if all
We've
of a
seen this
sudden
movie 20 times.
there could be massive changes in the movie? Come on,
All right.
You don't know.
you don't know.
They're
Will
writing a
Smith's
song for
gonna rap.
Jasmine.
Will Smith is gonna rap.
Maybe.
Okay.
Just
That
don't spoil
would
it for the
save
kids.
Aladdin for me if
This movie
we
looks like
go
trash.
back to the time when Will Smith had a song in every movie he was
Remember
in.
to keep
We get
reviews
a Wild Wild
nice
Aladdin.
and short.
Go into
I hate him
Agrabah.
so much. Just trying to get some stuff out. Keep your reviews nice and short. Keep them Twitter sized. Old Twitter, 140 characters. All right. Last week I asked you guys, are you planning to cancel Netflix once they lose Marvel, Disney, and Star Wars content? And a shocking amount of people said that they were.
Really?
Do I trust them? Maybe.
Trust him, dude.
I don't know.
This is very interesting. Well, let's jump into this. Andy Mack says, "Hey casters," which I like.
Ooh,
a lot.
I do
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
really good. You were asking about who's keeping Netflix. I'm definitely keeping it because in England we don't get Star Wars films. currently only had Rogue One, which is a great one. So good for you. You know what I mean? Or MCU has Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Ultron.
They don't release Star Wars films in London, in England?
on Netflix.
Sorry. Took me a second.
So that won't change much, but we do get Star Trek Discovery and Titans, so don't need a separate service. Okay, so he's hanging on his Netflix. Steven II says, definitely canceling Netflix. Have zero reasons to keep going, keep it around anymore, with my favorite shows being over. Voltron, Marvel shows, etc. I watch everything with Verve and Hulu. Prime I strictly use for the Grand Tour. Cool.
Grand Tour is pretty good.
Sam Mosier says, I want Disney Plus, but I will also keep Netflix because I love its animated shows like BoJack Horseman and Big Mouth and other shows like Glow. I'll never forgive it for canceling American Vandal, though. That was very disappointing.
So upsetting.
Still haven't seen season 2, but still disappointed. Haven't even finished
That's why they
season 1.
canceled it.
No, they canceled it because they didn't own it.
They were like,
It's a Funny or Die property, right?
Yeah. Is it not NBC, CBS, one of those?
Well, it's dead now.
Doesn't matter.
Fucking dead.
It might be revived in 2 to 3 years. How would you say this name right there?
It's Kieran.
Kieran. Is that how you spell that name?
You can spell it with a C or with a K.
I spell my Kieran with a K.
I hate you.
I know. I hate that you love me.
So about the canceling Netflix, 100% will be getting Disney Plus and seeing if Netflix can still keep me engaged with their original. Often feels they can be hit or miss. Should have rewritten that. And miss, whereas I feel this will not be the case for Disney's Plus. Okay. And then our last one is Jessic. I can't see myself needing Netflix after Disney Plus. Netflix has become a vehicle to rewatch Marvel and Star Wars films and pan their original content.
Yeah, that's surprising to me how many people want to cancel Netflix because I think that it's worth to keep for all of their original stuff.
So there were significantly more responses, and I want to say it was about 40% of them were like, I think I'm going to cancel. Which is shocking.
I think right now I have Prime Video because it comes with Prime. I have Netflix.
That also comes with a Twitch Prime subscription.
Ooh.
If you have that, go ahead and give it to us now. If you're not watching on Twitch,
you can give it to us.
You can still give it to us now, please.
We need it.
So yeah,
we're
I have
lots of money on Twitch.
Netflix, Prime.
It's not true. Don't lie to them.
Hulu, and All Access. And I think I would just cancel All Access and get Disney and keep the rest of them because Hulu you use for like the current stuff that's on that you want to keep up with. Netflix is good for its originals and stuff that you missed, and then Disney's gonna have like a shit ton of stuff that I just want to watch.
See, I'm a hardcore late adapter, but once I get a service, I get addicted to it, and I never want to let it go. So I don't ever see myself canceling Netflix.
Have you canceled HBO yet?
I don't cancel HBO.
Your wife.
I don't.
Really?
I don't get HBO. HBO is not in my realm of my household. That's Danielle's. That is D's
She's fully
authority.
control of the Comcast.
Do you understand that?
Services.
If it comes through Comcast, she is the fucking sentry that guards that
Has she
gate.
canceled it yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
Is she
okay.
gonna keep it
No,
for Big Little Lies?
I think that, and I'm trying to keep it for Watchmen because I really want to see that.
Oh,
and I really want to see
very
Watchmen.
excited for that.
So, but we'll see. But honestly, if she canceled it, I'd be like, whatever, just won't watch it because that's how marriage works.
It sure is.
Uncompromising compromise.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Sorry, I pulled a cable there. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to follow us on the social media, you can find Nick Scarpino at
Nick_Scarpino on Twitter and Instagram, or Nick Scarpino on Reddit because I keep tripping people out. They're like, that's not the real Nick. I'm like, oh, it's me. No underscore. If I don't need the underscore, I don't take the underscore.
Portillo's Nick Scarpino just dropping the ball on that one.
Yeah, I feel like you should have taken the underscore if you have it everywhere else.
Now it's your brand.
Never.
Yeah.
My brand is nickscarpino.net.
Jesus Christ. If you want to follow the Joester, you can go to @JoeyNoel on all social media platforms.
Except for, I also have a weird Reddit name. I'm Joey Noel 88. Is it because I may have taken Joey Noelle at some point and just forgotten the login?
You
Probably.
can reset it, Joester.
No, I tried to.
Oh, that's
I don't
sad.
know what happened.
And if you want to follow me, you can go to @KindaFunnyKevin everywhere,
Including Reddit.
including Reddit. Yeah, of course. Come on. Unified branding. You got to get it everywhere. So, yeah, go watch a movie this weekend, you know? Watch something great, casters. Oh, do we call them casters? Are we the casters?
We're all
I
the
think it's
casters.
collective casters.